Bet you didn't expect us to be early today, huh? Nobody's here. No, the chat's just opened up. But for the first time in a while, we got both our guests here on time. We're all ready to go. How's everybody feeling here today?
Good.
Yeah.
Excited. Always welcome and excited to be around you guys and be on the pod. It's fun.
Likewise, like having you here.
I'm glad. I'm genuinely glad. I think we're all still waking up. I took like a little nap before we got here. And
I went to a brewery. I found out I drink a lot.
Oh, just now?
Well, no, I always kind of figured, but like I went to, there's a liquor store like right down the block from it.
Yeah.
And I was like, I'll take some mini bottles. They got the big one.
So drink a lot or just like high tolerance? Because I think there's a difference.
No, I think just drink a lot.
Okay. I was trying to give you an out, man. Like, no, I guess not.
I got a high tolerance, which sucks sometimes.
It can.
It does, yeah.
But I've also learned how to game the system a little bit, like which beers have the least alcohol percentage and like how to coast. Apparently, like the UK is really famous for doing, I forgot what it's called, but it's they'll fill the beer halfway and then fill the rest with Sprite as a way to kind of water it down.
What the fuck?
I mean, if you're drinking a Bud Light, I'm not sure you'll taste it.
Yeah, but that's wild.
It's not, Bud Light's not the best mixer, bro. You're ruining my Sprite.
I think, man, that's wild. So the cheat to the system is sugar. You get a whole bunch of them sugar mixed cocktails. That shit'll put you down.
Yeah.
I avoid cocktails unless it's like a brunch type thing.
Oh, man. The only cocktail I think I do sip on every so often is probably mimosa, and then that's it. Like, I do not do the sugar. Well, margaritas, but, man, I don't do the sugar.
It's agave. It doesn't spike your insulin as hard.
Is that what it is?
Yeah, it's also
it's agave syrup.
Well, depending on who's making it, because some will do the simple instead of the agave like it's supposed to.
Yeah, there's some shitty margaritas out there. That's why Applebee's sells them for $2.
I'm not too proud or Mexican to admit I've had a few.
Chewy's has some bomb ones. Chewy's puts them down. You can put them down. And then the burritos, that's what I like also. The burritos.
Oh, the burritos are good. Yeah.
I've been starting a tradition that every time we go review a movie at Gateway, right across I go to Chewy's for that famous purple margarita right before.
Nice.
Fuck yeah.
Oh man, let me redo my list to include Everclear. No. 2:15 a.m. in the UK, but themexcellence is calling my name. Oh, sweet. We have someone.
Oh, my God. UK, actually? Holy shit. Fuck yeah, that's dope.
Thank you, bro.
Also, there's apparently like a huge Latino population.
Is there?
Yeah.
In the UK?
In the UK. Yeah.
I didn't know that. Did not know that.
There's, I forgot what they call them, but there's like a whole little like section on TikTok. And it's like, Boricuas, Mexicanas, like Cubanos and everything. And I think military family probably, but there's like a huge community of Latinos out there.
I have like grazed that corner of TikTok a little bit because I did get one guy that was like, speaking to me in a really like thick British, like, oi, bruv, like Cockney kind of accent. And then he was like, ya sabes, güey. What the fuck are you doing to me?
Did you ever... I saw this on TikTok, and it was one of the strangest things. It was like, people probably think this dude is racist, but he's just a white guy that grew up in China, so he has the accent like he's talking...
That's rough.
Oh, man, that's wild. That's a real quick way to get your ass whooped.
I mean, I have seen this one, which is white guys that talk like they're from Jamaica, because they are from Jamaica. Like, it is legitimate thing, but everyone's like, "Oh, why are you like patronizing or being racist?" He's like, "No, dude, I'm not gonna make the accent, but still, yeah, I'm from Kingston.
I'll do it for you. I'm from the island."
Rico Heroes here in the chat, and then the UK person Serenity's back. People are not expecting us to be on time, so they're probably going to join a little bit late.
It's all good.
My asthma doctor has
figures the alcoholics would show up on time for the
Really putting us on the spot, man. Holy shit. That's gotcha.
You know what's funny for alcoholics showing up on time? I don't make very many happy hours because they have the weirdest hours.
Yeah, man. It's like right after you get in work. I don't know, man. I
can't fight that traffic, bro.
No, for real. And then like you just like swamp ass. That just kills me, bro. Like, and I like yesterday I was to a business meeting right after work, and I was just like, bro, I reek. There's no way. I mean, I'm in the middle of Gabriela's, and there's no way somebody doesn't fucking smell me. Like, I'm like, bro, this is not good. Not good.
You are also right. They're right after work. It's like 5 to 7. I'm like, by the time I get off work at 5, I need to spend 30 minutes just kind of like a beached whale. Just
yeah. So I went to Red Horn like immediately after I clocked out because now I'm far. Like,
yeah.
It used to be my favorite brewery because it's right there. But now it's like I'm looking at an hour at 5, bro. Like just in traffic, not even to get there. But
gotta find another brewery, brother.
Oh no, I did. That's why that's why it's not my number one no more, but they do have my favorite beers. It's like I have to go get it.
I mean, the problem is where JJ lives, because I used to live where JJ lives, is the breweries are slowly dying.
Yeah.
Oh shit! Wait, where you stand?
Just right across the highway.
Yeah, I live like on the other side of 183.
So Aldebert's is gone, Fourth Tap is gone. Like you have to do something really touristy, like Celis. Sorry for all the inside baseball, but especially since we have someone across the ocean today. But like, I would say half the breweries in North Austin are dead.
Yeah.
COVID, man. I think COVID got most of them, honestly.
I'm not gonna lie, I'm not a big guy on breweries. I like beer. I can also just tell you straight up, I don't know like shit about beer, just about the making of it, because all whiskey starts with beer.
Yeah.
That's about it. I mean, like I know what the fucking IPA is, a stout, a porter, and then after that I'm just kind of lost. Like Mexican lager, and then I couldn't tell you what the fuck a Hefeweizen is. Or what the fucking difference?
Put an orange on it.
See, that's what I thought that was wheat beers, and apparently wheat beers are different from Hefeweizens. I'm like, fucking, bro. No, man, I don't know. Not this.
The funny thing is about this is like, we're gonna have a lot of liquor content. Me and JJ are gonna cover a lot of beer content. But yesterday I was just like, as I was thinking of my list, I was like, yeah, no one from the wine realm is gonna be here today.
No. I mean, I'll say this: I got one that
is aged.
It's touching on wine,
okay.
And it's like probably the closest that we'll get to anything that has like any kind of wine residual. But yeah, that's about it.
Yeah, no, I heard Dracula say I never drink wine one time, and I was like, Dracula's cool. I'm gonna follow Dracula's lead.
I remember, and this is something you said when we were like 19, and it was like, and this is all of you. I'd like, because when it comes to whiskey and beers, like there's certain brands and stuff that you trust. I don't think I've ever bought the same bottle of wine every time I buy wine.
Oh no! I can tell you for damn sure I have.
So I know the crazy thing is that I actually feel like I know wine a little bit more than I do beers, just because when I was at liquor store retails and all that shit, I actually was the wine guy by force.
Right, yeah.
So I actually had to learn a lot of that shit, and I feel a little bit more comfortable with like food pairings with wines than I do with beer pairings with foods. It's weird.
Yeah, no, that makes sense because wine is kind of like the rules are already there. Like if you're eating fish, white. If you're eating red meat, red wine. Like the rules are already kind of there. But past that, sometimes I don't know what a Merlot is. Like I'm like, oh, like that's the red one. Like
I moved on to picking the wine that has a picture of a house to now I'm picking the one that's named after a sex position. I bought cowgirl wine the other day. It was pretty good wine.
Oh man!
See, I just remember like what the story from high school or when we were 19 was that if it has a picture of a house, it's great. If it has a picture of an animal, it's terrible.
Yeah,
that's not true though anymore. Four Horses is top notch. They've got a bourbon barrel aged red wine or red blend, something like that like won awards a couple years ago.
Yeah, I've had enough house wine to tell you that that's not true anymore. The ratio has shifted.
Yeah, Kendall Jackson also, for those who are wine nuts.
Kendall Jackson has been like the nice wine at an okay restaurant most of the time. Like I think at Olive Garden they have Kendall Jackson.
Yeah, Kendall Jackson. The bottle is also like $8. It doesn't matter what style it is. So it's good, affordable, and if you're paying for like $8 for a glass at any restaurant, don't do it. It's not worth it.
Rudiman, I would love to go to Scotland. Going to Glasgow is on my to-do list. I'm just waiting for flights to go down a little bit. That's right now, because I don't know exactly what's happening. Like, I'm not that much of an economist head, but I just know flying is way more expensive than it was pre-COVID, and I know airlines are still just trying to make their money back overall.
Yeah,
bro, Islay. I want to go to the Islas for the Islay whiskeys in Scotland, and then oh my god, main town in Ireland. I want to go to
Dublin?
Ireland.
Dublin? Yeah, that would be dope. I thought one of my cousins has a really funny story where his best friend went to Ireland and bought him a bottle of Jameson. And he was like, this is straight from the factory. And he was like, if you bought this at the liquor store, would I know the difference?
I can tell you that with Guinness, yes, you can.
Yeah.
You can.
I'm not a fucking Guinness fan, but evidently, yeah, it's like completely different quality over there.
I have heard that, actually. What's the name of the wizard, the comic book artist? The one that did The Watchmen originally?
Oh, Alan Moore?
Alan Moore.
Fucking Rasputin.
Alan Moore had a really funny story where he came to Austin and they were like, dude, I want a Lone Star. And everyone was like, but Lone Star's really shit. Like, why don't you enjoy a Shiner at least or something? He's like, I don't want lip from any of you Yanks. You fucking love Guinness and it's trash beer where I'm from.
Fuck yeah. Also, shout out to fucking Shiner. They just started making whiskey.
Oh, really?
real?
Yes. They announced and opened up their distillery officially to the public Memorial Day weekend. Yeah.
Damn, that's when I was in San Antonio. I fucked up.
I mean, Shiner's in this weird place. It's like going towards
Right, it's
Houston.
like in between.
Yeah.
But we could always make a trip. I don't know. Fuck it.
Man, I really want to get out there. I mean, I want to get out there just for the beer anyways, but fuck, I'm excited to see what they're doing for their whiskey. They only have 3 main spirits right now, a gin, a vodka, and then what they're calling Shine, but it's just White Dog. So they got whiskey going into barrels right now. We'll see when it comes out, but yeah.
All right, guys, I'm going to go ahead and start the show. I do thank you all for coming in. Some more people are showing up. Like I said, people are not used to starting on time. That should be the regular from here on out. I'm going to do everything in my power to make it so. But right now, I'm going to start the show. Thank you all for coming out. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you for joining me tonight. It is the time for the CincountDown Top 5 Alcohols, but I am not alone. Across from me, we have one of the biggest consumers of alcohol I've ever met in my life. Yeah, that could be either of y'all.
Which one of us, man? I was like, damn. All right. Flip a coin.
Well, to get a little bit specialer of an introduction, the member of the ATX Whiskey Society is here today.
El Whiskilero, Emiliano. Appreciate y'all having me.
Yeah, man.
And last but not least, in the surfer shirt.
Yeah, I spent my grocery money on this list. I'm JJ.
My wildest spring break, which was in the middle of my deployment, my friend Robert told me something that I will never forget, where it's like, beer can be food, but food cannot get you drunk.
Damn. Wiser words have never been spoken, man. Hell yeah.
On that note, this is going to be our top 5 alcohol list. So any beer, wine, or liquor by name. No mixed drinks, because then that opens things up way too far out.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, we're not bartenders.
But yeah, just before we started the show, I wanted to do a RIP to the Iron Sheik, just as one of my favorite characters and people of all time. Sorry that it was really sad, almost out of the blue news, that he passed away yesterday.
Yeah, man.
How old?
He was
up there.
No, he was like 82.
82. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Yeah,
On the bright side, not many wrestlers from the 80s actually made it to even 70.
yeah, man. Fucking crazy.
I think Roddy Piper did an interview when he was like 58, and he's like, "I'm not gonna live to collect my Social Security checks."
Oh my God.
Yeah. And I mean, the Iron Sheik just kept rolling around doing random things, like showing up on Jerry Springer and having one of the most entertaining Twitters that people that don't even watch wrestling were like invested in at that point.
Yeah.
What's wild? So wasn't he? I know he and Sabu worked together and like trained together. Aren't they related? Because Iron Sheik in real life was like Italian.
No, Iron Sheik
no?
is actually
Is he actually okay?
Yeah, he's
I know
actually
Sabu is actually Italian.
So I think Sabu is the nephew of the original Sheik.
Okay,
So I think
maybe that might be who I'm thinking.
yeah, and I think the original Sheik trained the Iron Sheik, and like
Yeah.
Yeah, I know there was. I just didn't remember who was before. But
So the Italian dude is a guy that was a member of like an ECW group called Full Blooded Italians.
Yes.
And then
Familiar
they
with
just
that.
wrote him off TV for a little bit. And when he came back, because it was 9/11, he was playing a terrorist.
that guy.
fucking, that's right.
And
Ahmad Hassan.
Ahmad Hassan.
God damn, bro.
And his actual, he's super Italian, and he's like a principal of a school. Like he just got promoted like recently.
Holy shit.
Yeah, that dude was like a teacher.
So now he's Super Nintendo Chalmers.
Man, I'll say this: ECW is where most of my like knowledge is, and then like 2003 to 2010 ish WWE. But yeah, I'm not as knowledgeable as others.
I'm trying to find a picture of him as a principal. Like, there we go. Like,
Gee. Yep. Damn.
And then just the WWE and their need for racist gimmicks was just like, all right, just put turban on him.
Now I remember. I remember that 100%. Holy shit.
So with Cheeky Baby gone, now we must all hate on Hulk Hogan twice as hard.
Sure, right? Yeah. He's a dick. Right?
Yeah, huge dick.
Yeah.
And on the note of huge, well, I'm not that note. on people that we should hate, fuck you, Pat Robinson. Glad you're gone.
Oh, bro.
Sheik's up there making you humble.
I did hear somebody this morning, or not here, but see somebody this morning make the joke that it was Sheik's last like move. Yeah, take Pat with him.
Well, guys,
I kind of like it when those like that's like because the same thing happened with Macho Man.
Oh yeah,
It was gonna be the Rapture. Like there was some sort of doomsday prediction.
Oh,
and then the
did he
day
die
before.
2012?
no, it wasn't 2012. It was another one.
Oh,
yeah.
Okay. All right. Pick your poison. Which one?
Yeah, it was one of those random ones,
okay.
but not an important Mayan one. But
Well, the calendar flipped. That's what like was misunderstood. Like the calendar actually flipped. It started back over, but you know
people are just like, yeah.
they'll fuck something up.
Yeah, there's articles about it too. Rapture called off. Randy Savage holds end of time in his hands.
Fuck yeah, man. Fuck yeah. Going down swinging.
But I'll go ahead and get this started. That way we can go ahead and end it with our special guest here today. My number 5 is I I put this was more based on emotional impact than my top 5 because it's just hard at that point.
Yeah.
I've drank too many types of bourbon. I've drank because there was even I went through everything except gin at some point. I've never had a gin phase because
no. I make gin and I'm just like, no, it ain't, bro. It ain't it. There's sexy ones out there that'll pique your interest, but no, not the move.
So these are more just like personal stories kind of thing. And number 5, this is I've only had this once because it's $180 to $228 a bottle, and
hey, I'm no judgment.
well, that's what. Well, I'm also big on because it's expensive. It doesn't mean it's good. That's a general lesson for all you young alcoholics out there. Patron is not very, very good when it comes to tequila, and you can use that with almost everything except vodka because even a really good vodka is only $30.
I won't stray away from your story, but the crazy thing with Patron, is that they're actually, as a distillery, the leading distillery in Mexico for environmental awareness.
Oh, really?
Really?
Yeah.
That I didn't know.
So they actually let an entire quarter of all of their agave crops die so that bats can feed on them and populate and pollinate.
That's awesome.
An agave plant, when it like sprouts and the flower comes out of the stem, it dies because there's no like alcohol, and so there's no, all that energy is put into the sprouting of the flower. And so they actually like let that to conserve nature and to help the dying and the endangered Mexican white-tailed bats populate.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
So
all right. So
not great tequila, and they're actually very weird. One of the additive-free tequilas.
Really? That part I did not know.
Yeah. They don't have any additives in their juice.
All right, number 5. No, I'm sorry.
Patron's earning some points now.
Hey guys, Marco here. Just wanted to remind you guys to use Mex 20 on your Manscaped purchases. I sing its praises all the time. At this point, they've taken such good care of us, giving us almost any product that you can think of under the sun. Beard trimmer that is the best beard trimmer that I've ever used.
I got it for my dad.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Thankfully, he's not listening to this.
I mean, he only speaks Spanish too, so
that as well. And he only knows how to use YouTube. Key, take your time on this one.
But no, the beard trimmer is literally the easiest to clean. It's like a magic eraser to get rid of all your hair. The original Manscaped tool is also one of the best things I've ever used. The Lawnmower 4.0. I mean, and man, right now that it's hot boy season, you definitely want to get you some of them underwear. You definitely want to stop that chub rub as best you can.
Stops the chub rub and it breathes. It's the Wonder Bra of men's underwear. Breathes, lifts, and separates.
100%. The nose beard trimmer is easy to use. The cologne and the body wash are literally on any date that I go to. It's the female's favorite scent. Like it does smell amazing, and I do recommend using it. Reuse all their products and use Mex 20 to get a 20% discount on and free shipping. And JJ, what will your balls do?
They will thank you.
We'll be right back with the show, ladies and gentlemen. No, my number 5 is even when you buy this at a bar, it's $25-$30 a shot. I came back from deployment. Everybody has full pocketbooks, but I didn't actually pay for this shot. Me and my buddies, we were getting hit on by like 35, 40-year-old moms at this bar that we went out to, and they're like, "What do you want? Anything that you want is free. One of it." And I was like, "Cool, I'll take the Johnny Walker Blue."
$25 a shot. Where are you going? I'm gonna say this. That's cheap. $25 for a Johnny Blue.
This was in Alaska too. Like
what? Dog.
It's got to be more.
Bro, that's insane.
It's got to be pretty fucking hard to get it over there.
$25. That's fucking mind blowing. That's actually. Fucking crazy.
I think when I worked at the last bar that I worked at, the highest top shelf liquor was Don Julio 1942, and that was $35 a shot. So, yeah, the fact that we were getting Johnny Walker Blue for $25, it was just like I wouldn't buy that, but man, it was worth it. It wasn't my money.
For real. Yeah, that's almost a $300-something bottle now.
Is it? Like, has it gone up a lot?
Again, not stray off too far. During the Trump era, he put a whole bunch of regulations for importing of whiskeys and spirits. And so the biggest embargoes that were put on for spirits was Scotch whiskey. And so when he got out, the first day that Biden took office, he actually struck out that rule and got rid of a whole bunch of the embargoes. We're still evidently not going to see that change for like another year, at least when it comes to pricing. But then now we might not see it change because one of the laws in, I think, the UK, and I don't know my European politics, but like it's going to impact Scotland.
Oh, Brexit?
No, there's a new law where it's like 70-something% of any bottle, as far as cost-wise, needs to go to taxes.
Oh,
so like
damn.
a $300 bottle, 70% of that is going to taxes. So
It's a new VAT.
It might even, yeah. Scotch whiskey might spike up even more, but
The
yeah,
value-
it is like a $300 bill.
Yeah, just looking it up online, this is $190 to $260.
Yeah.
And this is also Johnny Walker Blue is actually pretty good about selling mini, like not mini, but like
But
some of the other. They don't do that for Blue. Blue, you need to buy a full.
They do have pints.
Oh, they do have pints now.
You
All right.
have to go. So I don't work with them anymore, but like kind of a former tag as an employer. But WB Liquors,
Yeah.
during the Christmas and holiday season, and then even Father's Day coming up, they'll get little like whiskey or Scotch whiskey sets. And one of the ones that obviously always cleared out was the little 50 to 100 ml bottles of the Johnny Walker Blue. So you just gotta look for it.
Well, I've seen the sets, but I've never seen it sold individually. Yeah. That's the one thing that I haven't seen. And this is what Johnny Walker Blue looks like. It's very, very smooth. I did enjoy it a lot. It was funny because the lady was like, "Oh, that was so good. Let's order another round." But it was just 8 of us. I feel kind of bad about that, but I mean, I had just come back from deployment, so I was like, all right, that was kind of a fun experience. But yeah, it kind of kicked off the first night we were back. I came back from deployment in October, so it was also like everyone was wearing Halloween costumes, and Halloween in general is one of my favorite times to go out and drink. But that's my number 5. JJ, what's yours?
My number 5. So okay. So I think I'll go ahead and start with where I was just at. That is Red Horn, which was formerly my favorite brewery, but now I live too damn far. So Austin Beer Works, you're number 1. Just got promoted, baby.
Austin Beer Works is really good at their experimental beers because they
are.
have like 4 that they're known for: Fire Eagle, Peacemaker, something else. But like their experimental beers, when you go in, like half the menu isn't for like canned consumption, and it's pretty good.
Yeah, I generally get the experimentals when I go. But this is one of the first beers that I had when I moved over to Austin, like at a brewery, one of my first brewery experiences. It is a candy milk stout. I do love me my stouts. And I bought it based on the name because when they originally launched it, they called it Jimmy Superfly Snicker.
Yeah, bro. That's sick.
But now I don't know if they caught a case from Snickers or because of Jimmy Superfly's case. They decided to change the name, and it is now just Superfly. But it is really, really smooth, really good. If you have a palate for stouts, because I know a lot of people don't have that palate.
Oh, they used to have a label for it.
Yeah. Well, I had to get the Crowler. For some reason, they don't have it already canned. But yeah, they did start selling it at stores around here. Hey, what up? Peroni.
Brony is the best.
Peroni
I don't know what that is.
First time chatter.
Oh,
Alessandro?
yeah, Alessandro.
Alessandro Romano.
Alessandro Roma.
Oh, isn't Peroni the one from the meme? Like I was gonna. Oh wait, no, that's a beer. I didn't know.
Italian
beer.
Yeah, there you go.
Is it because it's pepperoni?
I don't know.
I'm sorry. I was just don't fucking pepperoni. Okay.
I don't want to be like. I'm sure Peroni is a good beer. I don't like buying beer not in America, most outside of Eastern Europe when I was there. Because a lot of them, maybe it's because I went to a lot of Asian countries and rice beer is rice beer. Like,
yeah. Yeah.
Absolutely not. Hell no.
Of the ones I've had, yeah. They're like, yep.
It's a Miller Lite.
I definitely had this before. No, but this has chocolate, peanut, and caramel notes. Of course, if you don't have a palate for stouts, you're not going to get any of that.
Yeah.
You're just going to get the bitter, harsh beer flavors. But I do have a palate for stouts, so...
Man, I've never tagged... I love stouts and porters and everything. But I've never tagged stouts for, like, being bitter.
Me neither.
No.
Yeah.
And I mean, I don't know if that's just like whiskey flavor profile or palate going into that, and like I'm experienced with those flavor notes, but I've never tagged them as like bitter, and people usually say that about stouts.
Yeah, like every time I've tried to introduce someone to a stout, I always get the same reaction where they're like,
I'll say that there is some that are just like gotcha, like barrel aged stouts. If you
if you ain't ready,
you are ready, man. Goose Island.
I've had Goose Island.
It's one of my favorites. But the year that they dropped their whiskey into the one of their 12 barrels, holy shit, man, that one was rough. That was rough.
When I first moved over to Austin, one of my friends, he's really into beer, and I've made beer with him before. So honorable mention, any homebrew. Like if you know someone that makes beer, hang out with that guy. But he was telling me like, oh, you need to hit up Specs, dude, because they got the Bourbon County. Like they got a 4-pack of Bourbon County. You just gotta ask the guy, and he'll give it to you. It's like, what the hell is that? And I got it, and I was like,
that's one of the first beers.
One is all you need.
Yeah.
Why did he give me 4?
Dragon's Milk Stout.
Yeah.
That's also fucking top one.
That's one of JJ's favorites for sure.
I do like Dragon Milk.
I don't know. I mean, if you've looked for them recently, but the word is that they stopped distributing to Texas.
The what? Dragon's Milk?
Dragon's Milk.
I don't know.
Yeah.
I still see it at HEB when I go.
Okay. I just haven't looked for it also. But another brewery turned distillery, they also make their own whiskey.
Oh, really?
Out of their stout. And it's supposed to be like fucking top.
All right. I need to make a trip.
Before it's gone.
Evidently, it's a regular product that they're going to do, but it's only at the distillery.
Okay,
so, yes.
So we got to go.
Yeah. But,
I mean, we went to when Fierce Whiskers opened up here.
Yeah, bro.
And they had they said they had 10. I'm not sure we tried all of them.
10 spirits?
Spirits.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
But they were like, we can only sell one in the stores right now. So I was like, okay. So I guess that happens all the time kind of thing.
Yeah.
Well, they had to age it.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, because actually, this weekend is their release of their first actual mainstay product, which is their rye whiskey.
Okay.
So that is being released officially this week at the distillery, or this Saturday at the distillery. But they do have an insane line of shit. There's white rum, aged rum. They have 2 or 3 agave spirits, a gin, vodka, a whole bunch of crazy shit. But yeah, they're pretty solid. Also, fucking sexy Rick House. That Rick House, building, $1.2 million.
Oh shit!
Jeez.
Yeah, it's one of the most expensive Rick houses.
I met the owners at the opening weekend, kind of thing, because that's where we went. I'm one of those weirdos that looks at what event is going on, and when we went, there was a dude that walked up to me and he was just like, "Hey man, like try this." And I think it was the rum. I don't really remember, just because it was a year ago, not because I got fucked
I was about to say, like, why not?
Yeah.
Well, we did go to East afterwards.
That afterwards, yes, I guess, but not there. It's just kind of one of those things where I didn't commit it to memory, but it was like a small Asian man. He's like, "Yeah, this is mine. I own this place," kind of thing. Yeah. And I was like, "Oh shit!" Like I did not expect the owner to just be walking around being like, "Hey man," which is what I would do if I was.
Yeah, because I think he's Chinese born but raised in Houston, and then
he had no accent at all.
Yeah, and like I said, raised in Houston, but I met him in passing about a year and a half ago, and then I got their first release of their like single barrel, and that shit is fucking good. And that was only like 2-ish years old, so that was really fun. 5 O'Clock Shadow was what it was called.
Yeah,
super sexy.
Now I'm excited. I'm going back to Specs this Saturday.
well, Fierce Whiskers, if you're an Austin local, they are doing something really cool. I believe that they're handing out like secret ninja tickets to people that go out paddleboarding on.
Fuck. I don't have a paddleboarding body anymore.
You have to reserve a time and stuff like that. And then, like, when you reserve a time, they give you the GPS coordinates. So I don't know how you get there either, because I don't like having my phone out on Lady Bird Lake. But like, you paddle up to it, and they give you like all these like high cool cocktails. Like when we were there, they had all those cocktails too.
Bro, I'm gonna get fucking lost. I'm be like down the Rio Grande, like, wait a minute. Shit looks familiar.
All right, what is your number 5?
Are we drinking?
Yeah.
Right, cool.
Of course.
Yeah, hey, man. So this is actually the one that I was gonna say. You're good. Touched up on wine just a little bit. So this is actually from Modisette and Sons. They are and used to be in Manor. There we go. Good little pick. Used to be in Manor. Now moved out towards Wimberley.
Yeah.
This is the Tom Roy. It is their single malt whiskey that they actually aged out for, I think, about 6 months to 8 months, something like that, in former brandy barrels that were used and made by another Texas distillery out in Blanco, Andalusia.
Thank you.
So,
thank you.
Andalusia, Texas brandy barrel that these guys dropped their whiskey into it, and the Tom Roy is named after Papa Modisette, who is one of the owners of it. So I really like it. It is grain forward, but you get some of that nice sweet orange brandy right on the palate.
I've actually never had a whiskey that isn't brandy forward that I didn't like.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
And I'm just not. I just need to go to more whiskey distilleries. Is what I'm learning at the end of this. Let's find the GPS to that thing.
Let's go paddleboarding.
I didn't know Manor
Jordan. I'm sorry. We're gonna.
I didn't know Manor ever had the infrastructure for stuff like that.
So Manor's actually got 2 distilleries. So these guys moved out to Wimberley, still own the location where they were initially based out of. And are using it as an aging house. Mm-hmm. But the other distillery out in Manor is like a super tiny shack, no bigger, I'm not joking, than this apartment. And It's 2 guys, an engineer and I think a chemical or mechanical engineer, who are the distiller's banner. And you can also only find their bottles at Total Wine Specs that come in pints, and it's a wheat whiskey. And they are doing crazy shit. Every single bottle is a single barrel. So that means 1 barrel at a time is dumped, bottled, sold to the market. But yeah, those are the only 2 distilleries out. Area.
Yeah, I was surprised when Elgin was getting a brewery kind of thing. I didn't know that stuff pops up there all the time.
Shit,
yeah, Circle is moving to Elgin.
Oh, wow. Okay. Again, I'm not huge on breweries, so I'll tell you whiskey out the ass. I know like damn near the entire fucking map for where everybody's at.
Together, we can...
Hey, again, all whiskey starts as beer, man. All whiskey starts as beer, so...
I actually was playing with the idea of having... I've never met this dude, but he has his own beer podcast called The Beerist, and I was like, oh... he'd probably want in on this topic. But then I spent all day today fucking around at a car dealership getting my windows tinted. So,
so you needed this drink.
100%.
Yeah.
And this is a really good drink too.
This is really smooth. It's really good.
This you should still maybe be able to find it out at Specs, but yeah, the Tom Roy, they only come in little pint bottles, and it was a limited batch. So whatever you find out there is like it.
I'll ask around.
Well, my number 4 is pretty easy to find. I just like this one because my hometown is not very big on experimentation. Me and our couple other friends used to always joke around that it's just like, if you ever own a bar, just have 3 taps of Bud Light and everyone will be happy.
Fuck my swagger, man. We had beers at our gender reveal that we just did 2 weeks ago. He didn't get one because it wasn't Bud Light. I was like, bro, fucking Dos Equis, nothing? All right, fine.
I would never understand.
Oh, I thought like the beer label was going to be like the reveal, so I was like, you had a girl then.
What's the other thing? People think that the beer is cooler just because of like the name Michelob Ultra. That means it's ultra good. No one knows that it's like.
Hey, sometimes it pays off.
That's true, but it doesn't have. They're not getting the ones with cool names. They're getting the ones that say like, "Hey, this one says Budweiser Select, so it's selected for me." And it's like, dude, all that means that it just has less carbs. That's all they're going for. And I did not know that until I was 20. But still, so I love trying this kind of stuff. But I did get into it at an early age. I worked at a restaurant, and then the guy there was a bit of a connoisseur. And he would always be like, try this. Very entry level, like trying a Negra Modelo was probably like a big thing for my family. Like my mom thought that beer was too bitter. So I don't know what she'd do with that stout, honestly. But so one of the things that I would always buy, and that's because one of my best friends is from Louisville, he would always champion Maker's Mark.
Ooh.
So I started drinking Maker's Mark all the time because I was like, hey, it has my name on it.
Hey, man.
And also because I'm not from that area, obviously. I'm from here in Texas. People from Kentucky always talk shit on Jack Daniels because it's like, oh, you're not from Bourbon County. You're not really bourbon.
It's okay. Finish your story first, man. It's a whole fucking wild beef that they got over there. That's not my problem. Not my fucking problem.
It's the same thing as champagne. It's not champagne unless it's from, yeah. Mm-hmm. It's not bourbon unless it comes from Bourbon County.
Man, bullshit. Bullshit.
And so I would buy Maker's Mark, which is just a little bit stronger. It's not 80 proof. I think it's 90 something
94.
or 94.
What it's at, I believe. Yeah, 94, 96, something like that.
So I would buy a bottle, take it around like when we would party, because I was in the Army from like when I was 21 to like 24, like prime drinking age. And I normally have it like half a bottle left over, like because like it was just for shots, really. But every time I'd come home, the bottle would be gone. I'm like, and I'd be like, Mom, Dad, did you drink my stuff? And then my dad was at the time he had a heart attack or something, so he was like, no, I'm not drinking at all. Like he was on like, I'm only eating asparagus and water, like kind of shit. And my mom was like, no, I'm not drinking that ugly ass liquid kind of thing.
Okay.
And found out that like my grandma was drinking it the entire fucking time.
It's always the ones you least expect, bro.
Me gusta que me quema. Didn't chill it, no mixers, just poured it straight into a glass and was just, I mean, that's the way I drank it, but my grandma she wasn't tasting the whiskey. She was just like,
it's more vapor. It's like when it burns, it's good.
And And I remember when
Your sore throats, headaches, whatever you got.
That's exactly what she was going for. And I remember my grandma, like, she was telling me, she was like, well, I mean, it burns, but it's not that bad. Because I don't know exactly what brand or was, but apparently she was like, we used to drink mezcal all the time. And I know mezcal has had this renaissance now where it's like the hipster thing to drink.
It's fucking killing me. You're right. Yeah. But it's fucking killing me.
But, like, it's somewhere in the 60s to the 80s, my grandma was like, it's just the drunks that drink mezcal. Mezcal is the poor man's tequila kind of thing. I'm not sure when it did, because there's literally, mezcal is more expensive than tequila now. I don't know when it flipped. Yeah. But, yeah, she was like, yeah, that's nothing. Like, I used to drink that.
The interesting thing with mezcal is that it's actually reverse to what people think. All tequila is mezcal. Not all mezcal is tequila.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So tequila is regulated to, I think, like 5 states or 6 states, something like that now in Mexico. But mezcal, it's damn near like anywhere. And the reason a lot of these prices are going up is because mezcal, there's essentially 3 types of distillation to it. You get copper pot. You can do clay pot distillation. Or, and it's a really interesting one, you get wooden trunks and you distill like this spirit through a wooden trunk.
That sounds awesome.
Yeah, it's badass. Instagram, highly recommend him. Lucas Assis. The dude is like, he's a Brazilian guy, married into a Mexican family. His wife's family was like tequileros and imadores. And so like, he's just had this full opening into the tequila and mezcal industry, and so like the dude's a connoisseur sommelier of tequila and mezcal, and just fantastic like education on it. He's also one of the people who I like credit to whenever I'm like learning or need to learn something, and he's also like a badass cocktail bartender. So
nice.
Yeah. The first picture that comes out when you oh, that's funny. It's making me correct the spelling of Brazil with an S. Is him.
There you go.
Yeah.
Oh, man. This dude is badass.
Well, I think normally I can get away with. Oh wait, no, that's additive-free tequila. We don't need it about that right now.
Additive-free tequila is what you want, though.
100%. I did learn that.
Yeah.
Oh, he is just teaching about tequila.
Yeah, man. Tequila, cocktails, and he's got really cool setups, and his cuts are fucking like pristine.
Let's talk about tequila, and let's go back to basics. So we have a bunch of new people here. So I thought it'd be cool to do a series where we're going to go back to basics. We're going to touch on what tequila is, how can you age it. But first, I believe that we need to talk about the domination of origin, or the DO. This is what regulates who, what, and where can make tequila. And is that actually a good thing? That's a topic for another video. But I do believe that in the beginning, it was made to protect the cultural aspect of tequila in Mexico. But as it stands, the DO today is actually hurting a lot more than helping. And yes, agave has been distilled in Jalisco for at least 500 years, if not a lot more. But it wasn't until the 1970s where Don Javier Salazar took a business trip to Japan, and there he was served the Japanese tequila. He was not happy about that. So he came back to Mexico, got together with a few other influential families in this industry, and they put together the DO, or the domination of origin. It wasn't recognized by the world until 1996. Today, tequila can be made in the whole territory of the state of Jalisco, but it can also be made in 30 municipalities in the state of Michoacán, 11 in Tamaulipas, 8 in Nayarit, and 7 in the state of Guanajuato. The mixtos, or the bottles that just say tequilas, are usually done with 51% agave and 49% any other sugar. But if the bottle says 100% agave, it needs to be just made with the Blue Weber agave. Now, granted, you can still use 1% of the chemically made additives that we just absolutely hate, of course. But that's a topic for another video. But please, let me know what you'd like me to cover on this Back to Basics series. Saludcita.
And then right there, his cutscene is like, and let's talk about it's like his cutscenes are fucking great. But yeah, the homeboy knows his shit and is really fucking knowledgeable. Great teacher too. Easy to follow.
JJ, you're number 4.
Okay, I can go with 2 ways with this. So this one's more of a joke, but it's got my name written all over it. Yeah.
Wow, number 4 have both their names on it. So
Yeah. I found this at Total Wine. It's the only place I've ever been able to find it. I don't know any history of it, so for all I know, this could be the worst fucking tequila. Like, these guys undo any good that Patron is doing for the environment. For all I know, that's my family legacy. But it's not bad in terms of a Blanco. It has kind of a... The times I've had it, like, neat, it's had... kind of a smoky aftertaste I usually get with a reposado. Mm-hmm. So I found that interesting. This mixes really well, though. Like, that is probably my favorite aspect about it. My mom loves El Himalaya. And evidently so do I. So this is her go-to and usually my go-to because it's like $17.
Is it still $17? I thought like even Jose Cuervo's up there now, kind of thing.
I know Tradicional.
Yeah.
Jose Cuervo's up there, but that is their like actually additive free version of it.
Oh, okay.
But Himalaya sounds about right.
It's pretty cheap.
And it's actually not like it is additive free also.
I didn't know.
I think people have like beef with how the distillery is like buying out a whole bunch of small other people.
Oh, okay. Part I didn't know.
But yeah, it is like still additive free. So
I mean, it's not bad.
Not bad, yeah.
Yeah, this is usually my go-to. Like whenever I'm having people over, like
that's what I normally buy to make margs, kind of thing. And it doesn't matter. Here's the thing that I see a lot of people do, and I'm just always laugh at them. And it's like I'm gonna buy the most expensive tequila, and then drown it in a margarita mix.
Man, I know, man. I live by the rule: drink what you like and however the fuck you want it. And like it. But damn, there's sometimes it just hurts.
It do. I've made that mistake myself. Right? Like I've not with tequila, but with whiskey, I'd be like, man, this is really good. I'm gonna pour bitters and sugar in it.
I mean, an old fashioned does add stuff to it, though. If that's what you're throwing an orange peel in there afterward.
Yeah. So recently, what I've been doing is just like, okay, rather than buying like a $50 bottle, finding out that I like it, and then throwing sugar and bitters or whatever else I'm mixing into it. How about I just find a good $20 bottle and do that to it?
Benchmark. It's a fucking half-gallon plastic bottle whiskey, but it's made by arguably one of, if not the most historic and best distillery in the States, Buffalo Trace.
Ooh, nice.
And it's fucking $12 for a handle.
I'm going. I'm going back.
And it's actually really fucking good bourbon. They typically age it out for like 5 to 6 years anyway, so it still hits like a certain kind of standard. But it's also a play on words like this is Buffalo Trace benchmark.
So I get it.
Yeah, but really fucking good whiskey.
Ozzy is saying he's can I do it? Yeah, I can do it. All right. Dobel is his go-to, and then Sabrina is saying like, oh shit, I poured about half a bottle of Centenario into margarita mix.
Yeah, Centenario's good. Yeah.
I think we had a bottle over there. That was from our Halloween party. But Sam just kept the bottle because it looks pretty.
I mean, yeah, I'm probably going to put soap in that one. Cool. Like, yeah, just keep it in my bag. I'm going to steal this gimmick from my cousin. He had like a bottle of Jack that he just poured like the like orange soap, that hand soap that you get at Walmart. Yeah.
Yes.
And I was like, that's a neat idea. Why haven't I done that? I'm going to do that with that one.
I mean, it is... They do sell a lot of cool things to do with bottles. I don't do it because I'm clumsy. But like the things where you can cut them and then sand the edges down to make glasses. And I think people make pour candle wax into it at that point and shit like that.
Since I go to a lot of, I used to before COVID, I went to a lot of cons, different conventions, video games and stuff, anime because I'm a weeb. And when you go to those, they just like give you pins. Like, as soon as you walk in, here's a pin, here's a button, here's a badge, here's a bag of shit. So I have a plethora of pins. They're just like all over my room, and I own a lot of backpacks, but they're all decorative. Like I can't put a pin on it. So my bright idea was like, I'll get a bottle of liquor, I'll cut it in half, and then I'll throw all my pins in there so that like they're visible. I never did that though because I can't be trusted with sharp objects.
All right, Emiliano, you're number 4.
So we're gonna go over here. This is a fairly new to my repertoire distillery, but I have absolutely fallen in love with damn near everything that they've put out. The Bent Distillery up in Louisville, Texas, previously only released their Bent number 5, and it was 5 different whiskeys that were blended into one bottle. At the time of the release for that, it was my bad. It was now you saw the shit, but it was aged out for only maybe about 6-ish months. Mm-hmm. I was gonna say I'll let you do that thing right there. Now their standard Bent line is close to about 2 to 3 years. This, however, is their unbent bottled and bond wheat whiskey. Bottled and bond, just for those who don't know, means you are reaching a certain kind of standard of quality for whiskey. It's got to be at least 4 years old. All grain has to be from one grain season, so either spring or fall. Distilled at one distillery by one distiller who has only done work on it. Level 3 char on the barrel, and once it's bottled, at least, or it cannot be any higher or lower than 100 proof. So, but this is the straight wheat whiskey of that unbent line.
Well, I did not expect that to be that smooth.
Yeah.
There's no burn to that at all.
No.
Very fucking mellow, real nice. I like wheat whiskeys, and I like the style that Bent has done with their wheat whiskey because it's nice, juicy, sweet on the nose, and they're just real smooth and mellow on the palate.
Yeah, I get a hint of sweetness on the palate. Like this is almost candy.
Yeah. A note that I've found in a lot of wheat whiskeys, especially made and aged in Texas. Yeah. Is like juicy fruit or some of the gushers kind of like sweetness just kind of pops in your mouth. But yeah, Unbent line has been phenomenal. They got 3 bottled and bonds right now. They're wheat, they're straight malt, and then their bourbon that was the earliest or the most latest of their releases. But they have like 7 different whiskeys that they're working to get all at a bottled and bond quality.
Yeah. I learned a lot.
We're only halfway through this list.
Not only did I learn what bottle and bond means, I learned there's a Louisville, Texas.
Yeah, Louisville, Texas. Northwest area of Dallas, but also distillery's fucking beautiful. Shout out to Jacob, their head distiller, and Raleigh, their marketing manager, I believe. But fantastic people up there, and their entire setup, as far as distillation goes, runs off a fucking panel. And you can do work from home because it also works on a fucking app. What? Yeah, so head distiller's just like, yeah, man, when I'm like wrapping things up, sometimes if I need like dip or early or something, I'm just going home and do in the shower and boom, yeah, shit's distilling. I'm like, God damn.
That's they're like distilling using like the bottled and bond method, so it's like the old school, but like you can do it through an app. Like the old meets the new.
Well, I'm trying to remember the distillery that I went to. They were making rum, but it was in Las Vegas, and they were using like UV rays to age things, laser fast or some shit like that. It looked like first of all, it's Las Vegas, so there's lights into things everywhere, right. Especially in this gimmick. But like, it looked like you were in a futuristic place, and it's like, this is where we age our whiskey, like speed. We have a patent on it. No one else can do whiskey like this. I'm gonna try to find the name real quick.
I know what you're talking about. It's kind of up in the air whether or not it works.
It got me fucked up. That's all I can tell.
The other thing that Bent distillery has is, I think it's the world's first submarine still. And it's literally a still that is like shaped like a submarine. Like, imagine little submarine or yellow submarine fucking beetles, like they're all in the fucking windows and shit, and like get little capsule up top.
Yes, Mocomedics, it is Lost Spirits. I had just found it at that moment.
Damn. I thought when you said submarine still, I thought it was like...
Yeah, underwater. No, it's the shape of a fucking submarine, and it's just like...
I was expecting like the Saiyan Bacta chamber. Just
So, this is what Lost Spirits looks like when you go there. Like, it's all this futuristic light shit. And they have, like, burlesque shows and stuff like that, too.
Man, I was going to make the joke that, like, the person giving you the tour was also, like a dancer or something.
Well, you're not wrong. They beat you to it. But, yeah, no, they said they had some sort of, that's what it was, some sort of space age, like, it looks like a fucking, something from Back to the Future when you watch it kind of thing.
Holy shit.
Yeah.
That's fucking wild.
And I don't remember what it was exactly, because by that point, first of all their liquors were, like, over 100 proof for the most part. And then it was just like,
that's how they get you. At that point, they could tell you anything. Yeah, you seen the movie Looper? That's what we're doing right here, only with whiskey.
But it was fun. I mean, I do recommend going. The thing is, I think the tickets were $50 each for the tour, whereas most tours are kind of free-ish.
It's not too bad. I was going to say, most tours, at least that I'm aware of, are like usually free.
Yeah.
Like
maybe we're spoiled here in Austin.
Yeah. I mean, in Texas in general, but yeah.
It's Vegas. Nothing's free.
That's fucking true.
I thought the drinks were free as long as you keep gambling.
Can you gamble in there?
Shit. That's your pocket and all.
So, one of my favorite cities to ever visit is Chicago. I went to Chicago for Riot Fest, and I'm part of this group called Solo Riot Fest Friends. Because all it is just like you go to this concert by yourself, and then like if you don't want to be by yourself, you can meet a whole bunch of people and do a whole bunch of cool stuff. And we went there. Everyone was super friendly. I was drinking a whole bunch of beers, and I was getting fucked up. But a beer is great when you're at that like buzzed version, and then you take a sip, and this was, oh shit. And that's what happened. I bought this because the can looked really like funny kind of thing. It's called Ninja versus Unicorn type.
Yes.
And I just saw it there on the shelf. We basically went to their version of a cidercade kind of thing. And I mean, I'm not alone in loving it. I mean, this is from Beer Advocate. Like the average score is a 95 out of 100. That's with 2,820 votes. And I love this beer. At the end of the day, it's kind of weird to say that anything that is citrus forward, like even the coffee beans I bought today, it's a citrus forward IPA, this beer, and it's really refreshing, really tasty. Next time I go to Chicago, I'm trying to come back with a 6-pack for you guys.
Holy shit, fuck yeah. That's badass. But you're right, it's always those like spirits or like drinks that's like, yes, when you're like at that kind of like, wavering line, and it still marks your fucking memory, and you're just like, damn, I need to get that shit.
I mean, how did this 5 out of 5 describe it? Ninja versus Unicorn is a beautifully crafted IPA that boasts a clear golden appearance with small bubbles that tantalize the senses. The aroma is quite fragrant, filled with hoppy and citrus notes, complemented by a simple hint of sweetness. So it's actually a complex beer kind of thing. And I definitely recommend this if you're in the Chicago area. I don't know how where it ships to, but definitely not here in Texas, sadly. Damn. JJ, your number 3.
All right, so I'm going to piggyback off of you. IPAs are kind of hit and miss with me. I either love them or I just fucking hate them.
For beer people loving IPAs, they're actually not normally my favorite. It's ambers and pale ales normally for me.
Same. Like, IPAs for some reason are just the ones where it's like, there's no in between. Like, I love it or I hate it, and most of the ones I've had are not that great. But that said, there is another local brewery / pizza place here in Austin that makes a fantastic IPA. Like every place that I've been to outside of Austin, but still in Texas, that serves it, I usually end up getting that. Like I went to San Antonio to this Japanese style arcade called Round One, and they had it there. And yeah, it's Pint House's Electric Jellyfish.
I love that. And then I remember there was a big hunt because they didn't do pretty cans that.
No, they didn't.
But during COVID, like, I remember a whole bunch of people being all pouty face about it. Like, on top of not being able to go out, not being able to see their friends, or I remember at least 3 or 4 specific complaints. I just want a jellyfish.
Yeah. Jellyfishing. Yeah. All their beers are nautical themed, and I really like the artwork on this one.
Underrated pizza too. Nobody puts it on their top 3.
I do like their pizza. It's really good.
It's amazing. Dog, fucking football season,
yeah.
Every Sunday, that's our spot because it's the spot that's like the least chaotic, kid friendly, and they got every fucking game, and it's like the best place for me to watch the Broncos.
Which Pint House do you go to?
The South Lamar.
South Lamar? Yeah. Okay, I'll keep that in mind next time.
I always try to get like Sam to go and watch the Broncos Raiders, and he's just like, we're not going to end up being friends afterwards. Like,
he is a terrible person to watch football with.
He is. And he's like touted it, and I'm just like, bro, where are y'all watching the game? He's like, I'm not telling you, because actually, like, I'm like,
it depends on if they're winning or not, because like. Not this last season, but the season before. I think they did make it to the playoffs. They were like 9-8, something like that. And he was feeling really confident because they were like 5-0. And he's like, "Oh, we're gonna beat the Chiefs. We're gonna beat the shit out of the Chiefs."
What kind of false hope is that, bro?
And we went to the Raiders bar, which is
Take 5.
Take 5.
The one that's right off the highway south. Okay, yeah, right.
Yeah, that's the Raiders bar. And then when you go there, you see Raiders flags all over.
Yeah, I see it, but I think there's another one up north. So
there might be. I learned through last season because what I wanted to do was go to different bars, but everybody just wants to go to the bar right here because it's the closest, so they don't have to drive very far. But which is the Steelers bar, by the way. But I found out where the Raiders bar was, and he was like, "All right, we'll go there." And then everyone was like yelling like "death to Patrick Mahomes" and shit like that. But like. By they got their ass kicked. It was like 50-30 or 50-20 by the end.
yeah, man.
You could hear a pin drop, but because they were all energetic. We're like, we're 5-0. We're going deep this year, and then nope.
No, man. How are you gonna fucking beat playoff Pat? That's wild. That's wild. I love Raiders history.
Yeah,
like their fucking history. Like first Mexicano win, or first Latino.
Yeah.
But then Mexicano win as a Super Bowl as a head coach and as a quarterback simultaneously. And just fucking great culture, great history. But Jesus Christ, Jesus Christ.
I mean, him going out to watch games is literally dependent on if they're winning or not. He will even kind of like shun the sports podcast. He'll hide in his room when we record it, kind of thing.
Oh my god!
And we don't even have Raiders topics most because like, I mean, I think that year we did have a lot of topics because that was the year that like that car crash happened, and then some other really bad shit happened. But normally we were just kind of like they're not on like top news radar most of the time. But I mean, unfortunately, last year we did shit on the Broncos a lot, but that wasn't you guys' fault. That's
I understand. I understand. I'll say this: I did not like the hiring of our fucking head coach at the time, like at all. I was not about it.
At least you fired him.
Yeah, man. Fucking seriously, I was really scared we were gonna keep him. Really scared.
But yeah, that was one of the things that well, mostly was Russell Wilson just getting to carte blanche to do whatever he wanted, kind of thing.
I think it was a combination of that, but also just, again, bad relationship between him and head coach. Because, again, you look at what happened with the Packers and their whole meltdown. What was the fucking problem? It was the fucking coach. And that guy. And he ended up going to the Broncos. What the fuck do you expect him to do with another, like, veteran quarterback? And it's just another bad relationship. And so, we'll see. We got Sean Payton. I like him. We'll see.
He's doing good things so far, but maybe we'll have you on for the sports podcast when that time comes.
I'm about it. We don't need to say his name, or King.
It's Voldemort.
He's off to fucking wherever that shit he went to.
On to your number 3.
Oh, is my number 3? All right, cool. So I'm dropping out. My number 3 is another bottled and bond whiskey, and it's really cool. This is actually the first bottled and bond whiskey in the state of Texas from, and I've said this before, and I'm going to say it fucking everywhere I go, the best distillery in the fucking state of Texas. Andalusia. They are known for their whiskey. Specifically their single malt whiskey. When I met one of the owners, Tommy, a while back, he told me that, one, he never wanted to put out a whiskey that was lower than 100 proof, and 2, he never wanted to fucking make bourbon. He feels, and he's one of the newer kind of generation of whiskey distillers and whiskey makers who is kind of straying away from the bourbon category and moving into the very new and very revolutionary single malt category of whiskey. This is I believe, smoked single malt bottled and bond whiskey, straight single malt. All their grain is from Texas. They distill in Texas, again, another straight Texas whiskey.
Damn.
Yeah.
This tastes like the one that I really wanted to try, but that one's from California. But the only the one from California is mesquite flavored whiskey kind of thing. But this is very
mesquite flavored or mesquite like smoked.
I think it's mesquite smoked. I might have misspoke.
Okay. Because Andalusia, they do also have, I believe it's their striker, but it's 3 different smoked whiskeys that are all barreled separately, but aged same amount, and they do a blend of them. And it's applewood smoke, cherrywood smoke, and mesquite wood smoke. And then they get a blend of that, drop it into their bottles, and that is their striker. And they do also have a peated, and that is their Revenant. And their Revenant is a Scotch peated style single malt whiskey. And that, I mean, it's just top notch.
So the one I'm thinking of is mesquite smoked.
Warbringer. Holy shit.
That one's from California, and I can't find it. I keep telling Sam to bring me a bottle. He's like, no, dude, I'm not spending $180 on you.
Damn. Holy shit.
I'll pay him back.
All right, so now we know what the limit is. Ask for a 160 bottle.
They do have it looks like it's less now. I think when it was new, the prices were just a little bit more inflated.
You just got to wean him down, figure out what the range is. Like, ask him, go down 20 and see if he brings that. Then we know.
I mean, I would pay him back.
California whiskey's also shit. I'm sorry.
Oh, really?
I'm just biased.
All I know about California, honestly, when it comes to alcohol, is like when it comes to beers, they don't have any great breweries. I know Sam. Not
really.
No, not really.
Not like legendary.
Oregon, and there's a joke that one of my friends made that it's like the further north you go until you hit Canada, the beer is better.
Holy shit.
Yeah.
So like Washington has like a lot of good breweries. Oregon has a lot of good breweries. But California, I mean, I know they have a couple, like, and microbrewing is everywhere at this point, kind of thing. Yeah. So
Belching Beaver, and I forget AleSmith. AleSmith is probably like the number 1 primo brewery in California. And I could even be wrong about that. They might not even be from California.
I think Fishhead is from...
Two Fishhead? Or?
Isn't Dogfish Head?
Dogfish Head.
Is that a California?
I don't fucking know.
Because Long Beach, right? I think it's Long Beach.
When I Googled, Sierra Nevada.
Oh.
But I'm not even a fan. El Segundo.
El Segundo's good, but just because they got Stone Cold.
Lagunita. Stone Brewery.
Stone's a really good one. Okay. Yeah. They have a handful.
It's a big state. They can't have nothing.
It's pretty big fucking state.
I do know that.
But like Texas has all of these in Austin, just like concentrated.
But Dallas has a lot of good ones too.
They do.
Yeah.
Like
Dallas and Austin are like prime real estate for like breweries and distilleries. Just in the Austin area, we put together kind of like a infograph and like map. There's at least 20-ish distilleries within like a 50-mile radius of just Austin.
Yeah.
You can't hit them all in a day.
San Antonio has some really good ones. The ones that we went to the last time we went together.
Breweries.
Okay, yeah. San
Antonio's coming on the come up.
Yeah, they got a couple good distilleries too. Veteran-owned Ranger Creek.
Yeah, that one's good.
They're top notch.
But the only thing I was going to say to give props to California is I thought they were like kind of known for being like one of the best wine countries. That's all about it.
Yeah.
I mean Napa Valley.
Yeah.
I wasn't kidding about that cowgirl with wine. I did have cowgirl wine, and it is from California.
Oh, there you go.
Now, if I can find a doggy style.
All right, guys, we're going to take a quick break, and we'll be right back. All right, guys, now we're going to continue on with our top 5. Might even have a little bit of time for some honorable mentions, because, damn, I have a lot. But number 2 is so I am a former bartender. I literally think you can figure out when you were a bartender based on what your go-to is. If you're a bartender right now, I don't know why, but it's Rumple.
What?
Their favorite thing to drink is Rumples.
Rumbles?
Rumple.
Oh,
Rumple mint.
Rumples?
Yeah.
That shit.
Rumple mints?
Get the fuck out of here.
Like peppermint schnapps. Rumple mints.
What?
Well, I guess it tastes like candy canes, but I don't like Christmas.
It tastes like burning candy canes, though.
That's wild.
Yeah, my good friend Elise, like her favorite thing is like I like to order dumples, so I'll go to the bar and order a dumple, which is a double rumple in a glass.
Oh my god, bro. Yeah, people wonder why they get hangovers. Holy shit.
A little bit before that, it would be Fireball. I know a lot of people that like Fireball. It's not good. I probably ended up with the best that you could have of this. And then my manager that gave me the job way back when, he still like finishes every night, and he's like, "I'm gonna do a shot of Jaeger. You want to do one with me?"
I'm not gonna lie. I'll put down some Jaeger bombs.
Yeah,
I will put some fucking Jaeger bombs down. But next time I'm drinking Fireball, I'm gonna fucking die. Like there was a peak, and it just kept on getting worse and worse with Fireball. Who also just released, and Rob Riggle's sponsoring it, their barrel aged Fireball.
What?
It's supposed to be like 70 proof. And like the regular shit's I think only 30 or something. I'm not excited for it, but
I mean,
it sounds fucking hilarious.
I think the Wild Turkey Fireball is up there, isn't it? Because cinnamon
Turkey Fire. Yeah, I mean Turkey Fire. Yeah.
But because I was just saying, like once Pitbull made that song, literally somebody in our
HEB started carrying it.
Yeah.
Well, so they get away and people get all fucking pissy about it, like at least within the recent couple of weeks to a month, because that's wine-based Fireball.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Because grocery stores in the state of Texas cannot sell liquor, period. So, yeah, Fireball got in because it's wine-based.
That makes a whole lot of... So I went to QT recently because their pizza is actually really good. Like I don't speak highly of most gas station foods, but if you guys have a QT, try their pizza. It's actually really, really good. But while I was waiting for my pizza to come out of the oven, I was just like standing there with my Frizzoni. With my big red Frizzoni, because I'm Texan. I was looking around at like the beer section and everything, and they had like a small selection of wines. And I noticed on top of that, there was like the fucking Black Cat roll of Fireball. And I was like, that's kind of weird. Why is it with the wines?
They sell it by the bucket too, I think.
They sell them by the keg. There's mini gallon kegs that you can buy that are just Fireball.
All right, so that's what we're doing when we're floating.
I don't know what the alcohol percentage of the wine version is, but
I'm not sure if it's. I think it's less. It's got to be less.
It
has to be less. You can buy it at a gas station. It's got to be.
Sorry, tuning in, Chia, that you didn't get the notification. I don't know how that shit works, but I'm glad you're here now. But me, I got off a little bit better. Literally, if you order this at most bars, the bartender's going to think that you're going to tip them a lot. I do tip a lot. That's just some prior service industry. And it's just Jameson. Jameson is my go-to liquor all the time. It makes me feel at home. I know there's better Irish whiskeys because Jameson also kind of got a little upcharged. But I mean, it still costs less than like Conor McGregor's Irish whiskey or whatever the fuck it is.
Proper 12 costs a lot.
I've never had it. I don't want to.
I've never had it. I usually, when I drink Irish whiskey, it's usually with coffee.
Fair.
My go-to is usually
I'm not driving Saturday. That's what I'll be doing.
My go-to for like Irish whiskey is usually Bushmills because of that, because Bushmills has like a little sweeter note to it, and it just mixes better with the coffee than Jameson, in my experience.
So
it does 100.
Yeah, so you know why?
Why?
So it's because, and it depends on which color you're buying. Do you know which color you're buying of Bushmills?
The white one. The
white one? Okay.
Plain.
So that should be new charred oak barrels. So that means it's like fresh barrel tannin that you're getting into that whiskey, into the whiskey. So it comes out sweeter. The sweetest version is the sherry.
The sherry?
Yeah, and I think it should be like red or something, I think, the label. But yeah, Bushmills, I mean, they're touted as one of, if not the best, like, budget Irish whiskeys.
Yeah, it is pretty good.
Yeah.
I mean, the Irish whiskeys in general, I feel like if you pay more than $40, you're overpaying.
Yeah, I mean, you're either paying for something that's got an age statement on it of like 10 years or more, or you're not doing something right. Speaking of stout, though, have you had the Jameson Stout?
No, I saw it like recently, not in this recent trip to Specs, but the one before. And I was like, if I didn't have to buy chicken.
Yeah, no. So that's really good. The very weird thing, because I'm huge on stout, not super big on IPAs. There's a couple IPAs that I like, and hot take, your reference to the fucking jellyfish, I'm actually not a big fan. But it's fine.
No, we're not gonna jump on you.
No, I know. But I just like, some people are just like, what? And I'm like, it's objectively good.
It's a hazy. It's a very like. I get it.
Beer. Yeah. I don't know what the fuck.
It's the one IPA that I'm like, this one's good.
Interesting. Yeah. But no. So interesting thing is, I actually like the Jameson IPA barrel more than the stout. I like it, and the really cool thing, the trick that I learned when I was at WB Liquors, is drink a glass of the Jameson IPA barrel paired with your favorite IPA. Take a sip of the whiskey and then take a sip of the IPA, and it's like a fucking experience. I did it, and it is like a pre-made cocktail in your mouth, and it's fucking amazing. It's damn near life-changing.
All right.
Really fucking good. Yeah.
Give me projects. My Friday is gonna be fun.
Was I gonna say? I think I found it real quick. This is the sherry oak.
Yeah, there you go. Yep. And then the black label's their bourbon. I think it probably Jack Daniel's barrels, but yeah, bourbon barrel.
And Tino Chia, this is Emiliano. He's a friend of the podcast. And Jameson is also her favorite. But yeah, Jameson is one of my favorite things to order. It's just my go-to. It's my familiar. I know what a lot of people's is. Like my dad, for some reason, it was Jim Beam until he had too many Jim Beams, and now he'll never drink that again.
Yeah, that's my dad with Coors.
Oh man, yeah, I love Coors though. That's my redneck beer.
I do drink when I drink Coors. I do drink the Yellow Belly though. I don't drink the light.
Oh, okay, no, you're talking about the Banquet then.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Fuck yeah. It's always Banquet.
In Lubbock, they were like the yellow bellies.
Yeah, no, I feel you.
On that note, just to kind of break things up a little bit, because we are speeding through this list. So I don't have an alcohol. You know, most everyone has an alcohol that's like, oh, I'll never drink that again. I don't have that. I know a lot of people do. But the thing that I do have that is just like, if I smell it, I'll gag, is, and this is a common thing that Southerners do. So, JJ, if you ever leave Texas and go to like the other part, don't do this. But they're really big on their dipping, and they're dipping on that side.
Oh, yeah.
So I was really,
yeah. Oh, yeah. That's what gets you?
Because I was really fucked up, and they're like, you want some Copenhagen wintergreen? And there's the people that know how to dip know like what's the right amount to put, was everything, but they literally laugh when you put in too big a horseshoe in your mouth kind of thing. And I was like, oh, this is fine. No
way.
So there's that smell, because I mean I've still been around people that dip Copenhagen wintergreen. So that smell of that wintergreen as it exudes and it's mixed with alcohol, I'm like, that's the only thing that makes me want to throw up. JJ, do you have any like, if you smell it you'll feel sick kind of alcohol or experiences like that?
Not really. I think the closest thing is there was one time when my friend Frank, it was his birthday, and he really, really wanted to drink, and he's not a big drinker, but like I don't know what he had going on around that time. This was like our early 20s, so it was all on the up and up. Like we didn't have to sneak around or anything, but he was not a big drinker, and we didn't have a lot of money, so they got him a bottle of Montezuma Blue, which is like mezcal. It's not the best, but since he's not that big of a drinker and no one else wanted to touch the stuff, and he's been my friend since first grade, I was like, we're going to Looney Bin together, buddy. Like I can't let you do this alone. Leave no man behind. So we killed the bottle. And Frank was fine. Frank was fresh as a daisy, bright-eyed and bushy-tailed the next morning. I woke up like fucking Wolverine at the end of Logan, just like, I didn't feel like I had to puke, but I went to the restroom to take a piss, and I was like still getting my wits about me, like holding on to like the wall so that I don't fall. And that's
one of my favorite drunk sayings. It's like, an Irishman is never drunk because he can hold on to a blade of grass to keep him from falling off the earth.
I don't have that Irish balance, but I was working on it. I was like that, and after, I do my business and I zip up and everything, I'm like, oh God, what the hell did I drink? I drank Montezuma Bleu. So that's mine. That's the closest. But like, I don't think I hate it to the degree where if I smell it today, I'll puke. It's just I drank a lot of it.
Fireball for me is just like my no-go. Like I will not touch anything with Fireball. I don't have a spirit that makes me get. Oh no. Well, okay. So I don't have a spirit.
It always works like that.
Yeah. So I don't have a spirit that makes me gag. I will tell you the most vile whiskey I've ever fucking had, and this is my like big like feeling against California whiskey.
Yeah.
Old Potrero, which is a San Franciscan distillery, bro. I've never actually consumed this, but this is what I imagine it tastes like. But old, dry, scabby Band-Aid.
Ew.
Is what I 100% got.
It looks so nice.
That's fucking you. That's not. There you go. Top second to last.
The black
that one right there. That's what I drank. Ooh. That
looks like Michelob Ultra.
That shit was.
That looks like motor oil.
That shit was vile. I'll say this.
It looks like 5,000 miles plus.
I personally will always drink whiskey straight because I see whiskey as an art, and I feel like you wouldn't paint over or put a 3D screen over like fucking Banksy's or fucking whatever the
Van Gogh,
yeah, whatever the fuck. Like, you wouldn't do that.
We can tell that we know our alcohol. We don't know our art.
Whatever the fuck. And I only know Banksy because I watched Spider-Man recently. Like, that's Banksy. No, but I mean, so that's me personally. So I will not put sugar or bitters or whatever else into a whiskey and make a cocktail. I just personally wouldn't. That having said that, when my friends saw that I had to pour the rest of this like quarter of a bottle into a gallon of orange juice, they knew something was fucking wrong. Because they were like, okay, Emiliano never mixes ever mixes anything. And I was like, fuck this. So put half a gallon of fucking orange juice, the last like 4 fucking shots of this shit, and just that was the only way it got finished. Not good.
So we were left to experiment by ourselves most of the time. I owned a ranch in Eagle Pass. We all went there and we did all sorts of weird things as we were getting fucked up. Because, I mean, I don't know if kids today have it better. Maybe they have TikTok people telling them how to drink and shit.
Now they make Borgs.
Yeah, that's fair.
But, so no one was teaching us how to bartend or do things like that. So we had this friend, his name is Izzy, and he just couldn't stand the taste of alcohol. And granted, when we were drinking, it was like 04 and up kind of thing. So things like Smirnoff Apple were all the craze and shit like that. And even that was too strong tasting for him kind of stuff. So we would buy random bottles of shit. And I don't know why. He thought this would be a great idea. To this day, I don't know exactly what he did to it, but he was just like, I'm going to pour a glass of vodka and then just pour a little bit of Coke and then a shitload of sugar into it.
I remember this.
And he was just like, ugh, it's too sweet. And I'll get some right now. And he was like, I can't drink this. It's actually too sweet at this point. When you get a party with 30 or 40 people, you find one dude that'll be like, I'll do it. So this dude, I think he couldn't really tolerate the taste either, but he started chugging it, and he's like, I'll be fine. But it's like that much vodka. We're all teenagers and shit. And he just he started vomiting and projectile vomiting and all this other stuff because it was too much in the system too fast. And I just remember our friend Edward going you killed our friend, Izzy. It's like the fucking exorcist over there.
I need an old priest and a young priest.
I will say the one thing that is wild, and a whole bunch of my friends I honestly don't even know what the fuck it is with me, but bananas. I can't fucking stand bananas. And in any kind of food, slushy, shake, even whiskey, because so the chemical compound that creates the vanilla and banana flavor is literally just one notch away from each other, and you either get vanilla or you get banana. And I believe they're called vanillites in at least the whiskey world. But the moment that fucking vanilla switches over to a banana, I'll pin that shit out, and I'm like, fuck this. So if
I ever served you 99 bananas,
bro, the smell immediate is like gag reflex.
I used to use 99 bananas in jungle juice. Now I know. Oh, another fun drunk story. We're kids or whatever, so we go to parties and shit, and sometimes we would show up late. And there was this one time, we literally went to a popular-ish party, and there was 40, 50 people standing around, but everyone was like, there's no alcohol. So we drank it already because we're teenagers. We have limited access. But somebody had made jungle juice. And so nobody's touching it or anything. It was just kind of the jungle juice was gone, and we were just out having normal conversations kind of stuff. And our friend Alfred is just pops the top to where the jungle juice is, and it's just like, I'm hungry. Is eating the fruit nonstop.
Remember all these things? Gotcha, bro.
Well, I mean, he's eating all the fruit, and he's just like...
He's a big guy.
Yeah. And we just leave at a certain point because it's like, all right, well, the beer's gone. I mean, it's like 12:30 at night. We'll meet up tomorrow and do, I don't know, video games or some shit. We're teenagers. And then Alfred was like, I was fine. And then I stepped out of your car and walked home, and it was just... And I'd already driven away, but he was just kind of like, the way that Alfred tells the story, he's like, help. Like he took that one step, and he's like, as he was walked closer and closer to the door, like his back just got heavier and heavier to a point that he was crawling. He was like, dude, I just threw up like all the fruit that I had just eaten.
No, one of my drinking stories. So whenever my folks at the time younger would like head out, go on like just trips or whatever, parental trips. They're going to South Texas or whatever, going to Valley. We would just say like, fuck it, we're gonna just like throw a fucking banger. And so we just throw parties, have my cousins over, have homies over, just like play games. We're not trying to get with girls or anything. We're just trying to have fun, chill. So just a bunch of homies and just drink, beer pong, flip club, whatever the fuck. By the end of the night, we're like playing video games or whatever. And one of the nights, we just decided all out. So none of us at the time were 21. So one of my homies we just gave him fucking, I think it was like maybe $300, and it was like as many 24 cases as you can, as many fucking fifths of whiskey and tequila as you can, just like fucking load us up. 100%, 11 bottles of whiskey and tequila, and then 5 24 cases of Coors. And I was like, all right, guys, folks are coming back in the morning. Everything gone by tonight. Everything. And there's like 9 of us. So we're just like, all right, cool. Going, playing games, drinking. At some point, we're playing whiskey pong. So it's just beer pong, but with whiskey in it. Just like going through everything. 2, 3 a.m.-ish. We're just like, all right, like we're teetering out, the last few of us. And I'm like, all right, there's 1 bottle of tequila, like, I think I can just like fucking hide it out in my clothes and we'll just like hold on to it or whatever. Morning comes round, we're just like, all right, 6 a.m., whoever's fucking hungover sucks a sock. But I'm also one of the guys like, I'm either waking up still drunk or completely sober. There's no in between. I also don't get hangovers. I also have promised that the day I get a hangover, cold turkey, quit. So I'm waking up this morning sober. 3 hours later, 6 a.m., folks text me. They're like, hey, we're on the road. Cool. From the Valley, it's a 4-5 hour drive. We get, together slow. Everybody's eating toast or fucking eggs and like just beer cans, bottles and whatnot. And I'm like, all right, we're consolidating everything and it's like keeping track, tally, counting everything. Boom. Like strategic. Making sure we get every fucking bottle, every fucking can. Boom. We're missing a fucking bottle. A bottle that was full. And I'm like, okay, where's this fucking bottle? This shit was full. And so I'm like, maybe in my drunkenness, like I woke up and put in my clothes. Boom, looking for my clothes, can't find it. Look at my brother's clothes, can't find it. And we're just like, all right, where's this fucking bottle? 3 hours, like, folks are in San Antonio coming up. It's like, okay, everybody fucking just scavenged tables, boom, can't find it. I'm like, all right, you know what? Hey, maybe we just threw it in the fucking trash outside and it's just like, it's already gone. Whatever. We're playing games, boom, 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 whatever. Folks are like, okay, hey, we're 5 minutes away. And I'm like, all right, gotta look one last time. So I'm just like walking around doing circles, looking for this bottle. Go to the back room. Empty bottle. Being held like a fucking baby by my cousin. Passed out on the fucking couch. And I'm like, I've never hit somebody passed out, but that was the closest I've ever wanted to. Take the bottle, fucking toss it in the trash outside. The next day, I'm like, yo, what the fuck happened? How did that bottle end up empty? And with the span of like 2 to 3 hours.
Yeah.
And he was like, homeboy Edgar just like came up and was like, "Hey," Emmy said, "No more, like nothing can be left over," and evidently my cousin just fucking took it to the head, killed half the bottle, chugged down half the bottle. Edgar, homeboy's just freaking out and like, "What? I'm sorry. Did I leave you did I leave you enough?" And he's just like, "Bro, you just killed half a bottle of tequila." And then boom, they evidently just passed it back and forth for the rest of the night, and just he fell asleep holding it like a fucking baby. I was like, "Bro, never again, never again."
Dude, the first time I ever got fucked up, I didn't know shit about alcohol. I didn't pick up a bottle and was like, "Oh, like this is like it says here how much alcohol is in there." I didn't know how to read that shit. I was just like, "We'll buy this, we'll buy that, we'll buy this." And I don't think I even bought it. I think I bought beer, if anything. I think I bought Budweiser Select.
Because it selected you.
That is what Alfred drank.
Yeah. And we went to our friend Julio's house, and there was a bottle of tequila and a bottle of Presidente. And the entire time we were getting increasingly fucked up, I remember just being like, "Oh man, the president's fucking me up. The president's fucking me up." And I mean, looking at it backwards, the Presidente is a brandy, and it's only like 20-30%. I don't remember what. And it was the tequila fuckiness. But that whole night, me and JJ were like, "Oh man, the president's got us by the balls today."
The crazy thing is that Presidente is actually supposed to be a really good brandy. And it's like super affordable and 10 years old.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, it's Mexican brandy, yeah.
First thing I ever got drunk? Well, that and the tequila, but yeah.
Okay.
I just remember at a certain point, because we were at my friend Julio's house, my friend Julio's mom was like, "All right, I've had enough. Y'all go home." And I mean, I was drunk, so I just heard that at an earshot. I was like, "Who the fuck said we needed to go home?" And Julio's mom was like, "I did." And I looked up and I saw an adult and I was like, "Yeah, it's time to go home, guys."
Just checking.
But enough side stories for a little bit. JJ, what's your number 2?
My number 2. So I didn't really bring many whiskeys, mostly because I didn't want to step on his toes.
Oh man, don't worry about that.
And because I'm not very experienced with whiskeys.
Really, at this point?
Well, my favorites are pretty much whatever he brings.
We gotta go to the storage, man. I said that, right? I got a storage.
No, but I would be down to go.
Yeah, we need to
Who does the stories for the ATX Whiskey Society? Because I rarely or never see you on them.
So I'm gonna be honest. I got locked out of the and we're actually still trying to figure out how I get back in, because we've reset the password 4 times and I've sat there with Brandon 4 times and I can't get in and I don't know why. So I don't know. But I mean, find me on El Whiskilero on IG and I still post, but it's nothing but Texas whiskey there. So
that's fine.
Yeah. just making sure.
So probably my favorite is that Balcones that you brought the last time with the rye with the chocolate notes. I went out that Monday and bought it.
Okay.
But before that, a whiskey that I always kept on staple at my place was from the land of the rising sun, Suntory.
Man, hey, that fucking respect.
Yeah, man. Honestly. I love this whiskey. It so it wouldn't be a JJ list without anime. Anime didn't introduce me to this, but the closest thing to anime did. Yakuza. The video game Yakuza, when it came out on PS2, I loved it because I think the copyright laws in Japan were pretty lax back then. So if you took your character to a bar, instead of ordering like Smud Light or whatever, he would order like an actual real life beer.
Oh shit!
Like, so it's like, oh, you can get a legit Bud Light here, or you can get legit Jack Daniels, and I don't think this was in the original PS2 release, but in the re-release for PS4 and PS5, Suntory was their go-to, and I was like, I gotta find that, I gotta try it, and yeah, it's delicious. I love to have it with ginger beer, like a ginger highball.
Ginger beer, also not something that I thought I would be super into, but mules, dude. Mules are awesome.
So, I'm not going to say when you keep talking, but vodka is to me what tequila is to other people. I will fight on vodka. Bro, I will fight on vodka. Continue your story. I'm interested with all this shit. Go.
But no, yeah, like, in the game, like, Kiryu can get drunk and that'll boost his like strength, so you will fucking dude up because he doesn't use guns. That's the other cool thing about Yakuza. It's like everyone thinks that it's a Grand Theft Auto clone. If you just like see the cover, you're like, Yakuza, that's the Japanese mafia, so it's like it's Grand Theft Auto. But no, Kiryu's a man of honor. He doesn't like fight random pedestrians. He'll only fight when provoked, and he only fights with his fists. Like he will beat the fuck out of you. So yeah, you drink a lot of that, or at least I do in my playthroughs. I drink a lot of that. And I mean, it's just smooth. It's closer to a scotch than like anything else. So if you're not down with scotch, this might not be for you, but it is really smooth as far as scotches go, and it mixes really well, and it's not that expensive as far as Japanese whiskeys go. It's like $30, which is like on the lower end.
Yes. It's one of, if not the most affordable and solid quality.
Yeah.
As far as Japanese whiskeys go. The scotchiness and scotchy notes that you get from it is because a lot of Japanese whiskey is 100% trying to be like a clone of or replicate these Scotch whiskey style and making. The Suntory distillery is fucking like historic.
Oh, I was Googling something because I thought it was like a rice type thing. It's not, by the way.
It's not. It's all malt.
But it looks like a fucking castle out on the boonies.
So
that's a boss level, bro.
So if I'm not mistaken, they have an actual waterfall in the middle of the distillery. And
Holy
it's like one
shit.
of, if not the only one in the world that has something like that, a feature like that. And they use the water from the waterfall and the river to proof and distill their whiskey.
You're doing some Willy Wonka shit with this, man.
So it's Suntory Distillery, and it's actually Beam Suntory. Mm-hmm. And Beam, if you're not familiar, Jim Beam, and Suntory back in the early 2000s, Beam sold the distillery and all their rights to Suntory Distillery in Japan. So Jim Beam is actually technically Japanese made.
Oh shit!
I did not know that.
The other crazy thing is that Maker's Mark is a product of Suntory's purchase.
Links.
So Suntory came in with Beam and said, we want to make another line of whiskey. They made the fucking Maker's Mark whiskey. Cool thing about Maker's 46. Mm-hmm. So Maker's 46 is, I think that one is 98 proof.
It's stronger than even the normal.
It is stronger than the standard. But it's 46 because it was the 46th recipe that the distillers tried and that the Suntory distillers came in to try, and they said, this is the best one.
That's awesome.
Yeah. So, Toki, perfect entry to Japanese whiskey. I think you fucking knocked it out of the park. It's not my preference, but again, I like to believe I can like split subjective and objective. Objectively, it's a fucking phenomenal whiskey. Damn. So, yeah, you fucking hit that out of the park, man. That's dope.
I do have a fun, cute little story about that whiskey kind of thing. So it was actually last year to the date kind of thing. I was dating this chick that was a big ass narcissist kind of thing, and
okay, go on.
She okay. So I went out with some friends and I had a game night, and on that game night, like my friend just took a couple pictures. JJ was actually there, kind of thing.
I was there. Oh yeah. Shit, I was there.
And then she sees this picture and she's like, why are you going out with other girls to do all this other stuff? And it's like, every girl there is in a couple. Like, I don't know what you're mad about. And then, like, so we broke up. And I was actually kind of heartbroken about it. But it was funny, like, how things went. I was like, hey, bro, I called up the dudes. and they showed up. Jordan and I think JJ was busy that day, but Jordan and Tommy showed up, and I was like, "Hey, man, I'm not feeling too good. Do you want to meet up for a drink?" And we went just down the street to Turnstile. It's a new bar. Highly recommend it. The staff is really funny. The staff is really cool, and they took good care of me that day. But we were drinking beers, and it's like the bar is the size of this room, kind of stuff. So I'm not loud or anything, but they can definitely hear the story. And one cool thing was like I had 2 cards that this chick had wrote me, and I was like, just as a symbolic thing, I was like, all right, well, this is the case of where I'm at. Hey, can you just throw this away for me, kind of thing? And the chick was like, "Oh, do you want me to burn it?"
Fuck yeah!
So the bartender behind the bar, that chick burns the card. Kind
I was gonna say burns the bar. Oh
no,
shit!
No, she burns.
Fuck this. Hate my job anyways.
She burns the card, and then she was like, "All right, that's done. Do you want a free shot of whiskey?" And it was that bottle.
Fuck yeah! Shit, man, that's fucking dope.
So
I gotta break up with more girls.
So I need to go back. I do go back to Turnstile once in a while. It has picked up a lot because you have to survive at this point. But every time I go, at least a couple of the employees are the same, and they're always like the warmest of homes, kind of thing.
Fuck yeah.
Yeah. So my buddy Miguel, he'll invite me every once in a while. Be like, "Hey, do you want to go to this brewery, that brewery?" And I'll usually say yes, unless he doesn't reply to me like this last time.
Oh, man, Miguel's fucking black.
According to him, the message just didn't send. Like, he thought he sent it.
Okay, sounds like my homeboy Joe.
I'm like,
"Oh, I didn't see your text last night. Get the fuck out of here. You were playing at 3 a.m.
All right, whatever, bro. Like, it's whatever. Like, I wasn't mad about it, but yeah, I'm like, damn, I would have actually gone. But every time we go to ABW, since it's like right here in this area, I'll be like, it closes at 10, and we're usually like, kind of just getting started, bro. Like, so his go-to is usually, do you want to go to Drought House, which is down this road, down Burnett, and it's kind of far from like ABW. Like in the grand scheme of things, it's like it's gonna take us like 15-20 minutes to get there, depending on the lights. And I was like, there's Turnstile. It's like right there. It'll take us like 7 minutes to get there, bro. Like half the time. And he never agreed. He was like, "I've never heard of this place, dude. I don't trust you." Finally, the last time I went out with him, I convinced him, and he's like, "This place is amazing."
They do have a really big beer selection. And then the only thing, like their mixed drinks did go up, but they do like train their bartenders really well.
Fuck yeah.
So I do recommend Turnstile.
Cool. It's another spot that I've heard that I'm just like, I ain't been, but
yeah, if you're in this area, it's.
I also don't like, unless it's like Plucker's, Pine House, or whatever the fuck, like my standard kind of go-tos. I'm not going out to drink, man.
Yeah.
So, like, that's not, like unless and breweries, distilleries, whatever. Yeah. Though I'm not gonna flex. Distilleries I usually get free shit, but
I am privy to that because I have a friend that like all she does is the marketing for Jester King kind of thing. Yeah. And she's like, "Oh yeah, like now I show up to places and then I just tell them what I do and I get free drinks the entire time. Like it's a little brotherhood."
Well, yeah, no. So distilleries, the really fucking cool thing is like you just walk up with like a couple of bottles of like stuff and that's it. So my 25th, my 31st birthday this year, on the 25th of March, we went over to I call it the Blanco 3, but it's also like the hat trick of Blanco. Andalusia, Real Ale, and My Lemon Green. And Real Ale, they are also known as Real Spirits because they also make whiskey. But we just showed up with a bottle, or actually, no, 2 of just like special stuff that you can only get at the distillery. And the bartenders were like hard stop, you're not paying for anything tonight. And so we just ended up saying like, all right, there's 5 of us, 6 of us, everybody $20 tip. So $120 tip right there. Boom. And we didn't pay for a goddamn thing. the whole fucking time. And we chilled out there for
I'm in the wrong fucking racket, bro.
Well, the thing is, we're just like starting, because I've looked into jobs that it's just like, hey, do you want to pour beer at Circle? And I'm like, damn, like $12 an hour.
Right, bro.
I know, man.
But like the video game industry doesn't have that shit. At least not like in the big corporate level where I'm at, where it's like, oh, you work for EA, like, okay. Yeah, we'll give you Call of Duty for free because you're cool. Like, that's not how it works.
But you got the Jedi game for free.
No, I didn't. Sam got the Jedi game for free because I gave him one of our games that he was like, I'm not going to play this. So he returned it at Target for credit and got the Jedi
game. To answer OZC's question, Japanese whiskey, I'll say this. Unless you're like dedicated to it, it's not necessarily trending right now. It's kind of trying to recover. So, and it happened real fucking fast. But between like 2015 to 2018-ish, there was a huge spike of Japanese whiskey. But in between that short period of time, they actually got in trouble because they had found out that they were not actually aging out their whiskey for how long that they were saying they did. Oh. So Japanese whiskey at the time had very little to no regulation. It's kind of like Canadian whiskey. Canadian whiskey, the only regulation is that it has to be aged in Canada for 2 years. That's it. That's why all their whiskey looks as dark as it is. Crown Royal, that's all food coloring, caramel, and flavoring. There is nothing that's actually like
that solid. Dark brown.
Yeah, like there's no way. But
man, I'm starting to think you can't trust Canadians because like most Canadian maple syrup is from fucking Vermont.
Yes. So all right, I'm not gonna get sidetracked yet, but that whiskey that you just poured earlier from Treaty Oak, that's a fucking. I'll say something on that in a second. But yeah, so Japan, because of that, they had to go into their own system and legal system and actually make regulations for Japanese whiskey. And it's all now like you have to use cereal malt. You have to put it in like new charred oak barrels or use like bourbon barrels or something. It has to be aged in Japan for at least 2 to 3 years. It has to like, so it's crazy extreme standards that are like respectable now. But even some of the whiskeys that are out on the market are kind of like iffy with some people. Not totally sure if they're actually the full 12 or 18 years that you're supposed to get from from a Yamazaki.
Oh man, is that the one with the samurai helmet?
I'm not sure. Oh, maybe.
It might be.
It might be. Only reason I'm not necessarily sure is because Whistlepig, who is in Vermont, but they also source from Canada whiskey, they actually have the Boss Hog, which is always aged to like some crazy ass like 18, 20 something year regulation that they do really badass like tops for them.
Okay. Yeah.
And 2 years ago they had a samurai top.
Oh,
so
neat.
That's why I'm like, it could be, but I don't remember a Yamazaki with that.
Yeah,
I remember a Boss Hog with that, but
it might have been the Boss Hog because, like, yeah, I just walk around like, damn, that's a neat ass bottle. I'm not buying that.
Fuck no. But yeah, speaking of Vermont maple syrup, so the bottle that I have over there of Treaty Oak, that was actually a really fucking cool project of mine. That was my first barrel finishing project that I actually like officially did at work. But it was with Project or Experimental 927 yeast, which with all those barrels coming out of it, we found had a blueberry note on the flavor profile, and we had gotten back a barrel that we had sent up to Vermont, Indiana, where they make maple syrup to sell to Canada and to the States, and they put maple syrup in that barrel, pulled the syrup out, sent the barrel back to us, and we dropped whiskey into it. So that is a maple barrel finish that just came out perfect blueberry pancakes.
Awesome.
With maple syrup. But
Did you do your number 2 yet, or still JJ's number 2?
I think it's still my number 2.
Oh no! Well, did you? So the Toki. We're talking about the Toki.
Yeah, we were talking about
number 2.
That was your...
My number 2, which we had actually poured kind of while we were telling the story. Yeah, was the Yellow Rose 10th anniversary. So this bottle is arguably one of, if not my favorite bourbons I've ever had. Period. So Houston Ferris, who is the master distiller over at Yellow Rose, is a dear friend of mine. But previous to knowing him, this was objectively good. It was fantastic whiskey, and the blend that he did behind it was phenomenal because it was celebrating Yellow Rose's 10th anniversary, and at 100, I think it's 10 proof, 14 proof, it, I believe, drinks at like 90.
Yeah.
Real nice.
It was really
sweet,
smooth.
Yeah, milk chocolate kind of Ovaltine flavors to it.
Drink your Ovaltine, guys.
But it's not just a beautiful and kind of sexy bottle. The top comes with like a little metal coin that's attached to it, and it's just the presentation of it's phenomenal. When you were talking about earlier, like Price doesn't always talk about like the quality of whiskey.
Mm-hmm.
This is like $110 bottle of whiskey, and I've gone through like 5 of them. So, this is genuinely one of my favorite fucking whiskeys.
I think the only thing I've drank 5 or more of it might be Makers and Jameson kind of thing. Like that, it does take. There's so many different flavors out there. At the end of the day, it's so hard.
Absolutely.
That was one of my favorite lines in that anime movie that I talked about in COVID. The night is
short. Walk on girl.
It's about a girl like basically bar hopping in Tokyo, like in the bar district of Tokyo, and it's about this guy that's like pining after her, and he chases after her like throughout the night, and the many misadventures they run into. But like when the girl goes to her first bar, she orders a cocktail, and she's like, every cocktail, every spirit is like a beautiful gem, and I just want to find all of them.
That isn't like something that should be on my like
right. Yeah.
Because I didn't mean it to be something that I try, but it definitely like you know, like how Xbox will put a percentage on like how far you are towards a quest. It's like I've definitely put a lot of work into trying all the alcohols.
Me too.
I am going to get, this is going to be a little bit of a faster section this here real quick, and it's just honorable mentions. Fun fact, I said I wouldn't mention wines. I lied. Not that I meant to lie, but I forgot about this one, and I remembered it over the podcast. Where I really got into craft beers was Alaska. Alaska is this really niche place where, like, they do have, Anchorage is a city the size of Laredo, and they have, like, 9, 10 breweries, 3 or 4 distilleries. Like, it's an amazing foodie place to go to.
Really interesting.
And the girl that I dated while I was up there, she was all about it. Like, she was all about, like, you need to try, basically trying all the flavors kind of thing, too. And one of the things that she introduced me to is this blueberry Merlot. Like, it's basically you can't get it shipped. You can't get it shipped here to Texas. Like, it does not come here. But it's just, instead of using grapes, for the most part, they use blueberries, and then they let them...
Interesting. Holy shit. Also, an interesting spelling on that.
Well, I mean, when you can make your own shit, so...
Yeah, well, yeah, fair. Fair. It's fair. Very fair.
Oh, is that Sam?
Go to sleep. What the fuck?
Sam. Hey, what's happening? What's happening? Wait, hold on. Aren't you in a fucking later time zone than we are? What the fuck time is it anyways?
Yeah, it's like 11:30 where he is. 11:18.
No, it's it.
Where he is, yes.
Yeah, we're here.
Really? I thought it was 2 hour and 2 hour from coast to coast.
No.
Because it's like 8 in Cali right now.
There's no time zone between Central and East Coast.
He's in Florida.
Yes, I know that. I thought it was 2 hours though.
No, there's no time zone.
It's just Cali. That's 2 hours.
Okay.
Yeah, the other side, you got Mountain, then Cali.
Yeah, okay. Oh.
Sammy out. Oh yeah,
Sammy
of course.
Yeah, fucking.
You didn't have to tell us that. We know you're not here.
Yeah, we've been holding down the fort. The next one, I feel embarrassed because this is the tequila, but it did get recommended to me by a white guy. That's all. His whole TikTok shtick is like additive-free tequila. It's El Tequiliano.
Bro, so that's actually a really fucking good tequila, bro. Respect. Hey, nerdy guy with glasses?
Yep.
So he and Lucas Assis are actually really good friends.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah. So there you go. Yes, and he's real fucking dorky, right? Like,
100%.
Can't pronounce shit for his life.
Yeah,
but
his whole like shtick is just kind of like, hey guys,
yes, yeah.
I am a really big advocate of additive-free tequila.
Yeah. Hey, respect. You know, it's like,
dude,
somebody's got to do the work.
That's one of the. I know that I went to a party with our friend Topeka. Sam was actually there. We finished that whole bottle, and I was like, that's one of the first times that we downed a whole bottle and no hangover the next day, because that's what that dude, that nerdy glasses dude is literally like, it's not. If you drink tequila, it's less heavy than a lot of the other liquors that you might drink.
Yeah.
And I was drinking it mixed with soda water. So he's like, you will not feel hungover the next day. 100% was right.
So there's two spirits in that people who. So there, I'm in a.
Oh, that explains the. You go on, but I heard a Russell Crowe story that links to this.
Yeah, I'm more interested in that. But so there's two spirits, and I'm in a whiskey group. Someone say whiskey. That's like one of the biggest whiskey groups in the world. But the two spirits that are recommended to people who have either high blood pressure, diabetes, or whatever, because they're considered the quote unquote least harmful, or what some people would say is like the healthiest.
Well, people say tequila is the healthiest of the.
It's tequila, and then American-made whiskey. And it's because there's so many fucking regulations to American-made whiskey that the moment you put any kind of coloring or flavoring into it, cannot be considered whiskey.
That is awesome.
Yeah. So, makes sense. Additive-free tequila, man. It's top notch.
Yeah. So for the Russell Crowe story, I forget what the other celebrity is, but it was a younger guy on the come up. It might have been like a music star, like it might have been like a Post Malone.
Russell Crowe's been around for a while. So
yeah, Russell Crowe's been around for a while. But like in Russell Crowe's like younger like gladiator days, he was kind of a notorious alcoholic.
How to get those abs?
Well, this is how. He was telling this younger celebrity, and again, I don't remember who the hell it was, but he was telling them, like, look, this is what I would do as, like, sort of a party trick, because I was, a notorious drunk back in those days, blah, blah, blah. I would get, like, the champagne bucket that they give you at the hotel or whatever, fill it with ice, like, to the top with ice. And then I'd get a bottle of tequila, and he named a brand, but I don't remember it right now. And he's like, and I'd just pour it all into the bucket. And then I'd just get like a splash of orange juice or whatever mixer they had. And then I'd just like sip on that with a straw throughout the whole night. And it's like, I wouldn't get a hangover the next day. Well, the newbie celebrity tried it, but he forgot the ice part. And Russell Crowe was like, bro, the ice is the fucking point. The ice melts as soon as you pour the tequila on it. It waters it down.
I feel like I've heard this story. I don't know why I want to say it was Daniel Craig.
It might have been Daniel Craig.
I don't know why I want to say that.
Legit though, that is whenever I'm on a cut like that, I want to look a little bit more Dorito shaped.
Yeah.
That is my trick. It's tequila, soda water on the ice. So I learned that I'm not necessarily an alcoholic. I just need a liquid. So if you order that, as the ice melts, and then it's just like, oh, I just need water. like literally, if I could go up, if I had the mental mind, like I don't want to go up to a bar and just be like, just give me a Coke in between my drink. Like if I could do that, definitely would spend less every night that I go out. But I don't do that. So what I do is it'll be tequila, soda water, and ice. So even after everything is gone, I literally basically have a secondary drink every drink that I have, kind of thing.
I feel you. What's it called? I was gonna say. So one of the biggest whiskey YouTubers in the world, Whiskey Vault, Whiskey Tribe, based here in Austin, Crowded Barrel. Daniel and Rex, they do a lot of really cool shit, but recommend genuinely once every quarter, just cold turkey week, just like nothing. No drinking. Refreshes the palate, helps you.
How often?
Once every quarter.
Okay.
Yeah, so it's like just a week, no drinking, boom, that's it.
I do that, but not on purpose.
I feel you. Well, so like
work gets really heavy some weeks, and it's just like, all right, I don't have time to drink, but then I do a little bit go hardcore the next week after that.
But I've had two instances where like when my wife and I were dating, she was just like she really scared that I was an alcoholic, and I was like, all right, cool. 3 months, just boom, cold turkey. And then we went up to Denver, and I was like, all right, can I fucking drink now? And she was just like, yeah, no, you like straight up like did it. And then just because I was doing a whole bunch of like physical tests and with the doctor, just like your 30-year checkup or whatever the fuck it was, I did another 3 months from whatever the fuck, October, November, December. Yeah, December did that, and actually did 4. And so I was like, yeah, see, I'm fucking not an alcoholic. Like, I just enjoy the flavor. I genuinely do enjoy the flavor of it. I will say, the one thing I will fucking do some harm to people if they get taken away from me, caffeine.
Caffeine, I think scientifically is more addictive.
It is.
Yeah.
It is. It's like more addictive than nicotine. But again, my last cigar I had was like, I don't know, 8 something months ago.
Everyone has got to have something, bro.
But yeah, it was like caffeine, bro. Like Monday, my homeboy was just like,
fucking need it.
Yeah, he was just like, just take a sip of my like Monster. I'm like, I don't want to owe you money because if I take a sip from it, I'm gonna chug the
I'm gonna have to buy you like 2 more.
No, caffeine.
It's funny you say that. I had a cousin that was, well, he's still around. Like, he's not dead. I still have a cousin. I still have a cousin. But in the before time, he was a really, really big drinker. And, like, I remember one of the times we went to San Antonio for, like, my grandma's birthday. Not San Antonio, technically, Castroville. In this ranch, middle of nowhere. No liquor stores around, no Walmarts like within 20 minutes. So he was like, how much beer we got? Like, we only got a case of Bud Light. He was a Bud Light guy. He was like, we only got one, and it's a 24. Man, I can finish that by myself. So this was several years back, but like since then he stopped. Like cold turkey, doesn't drink anymore. Now he gets like O'Doul's or stuff whenever we have like a big barbecue or a get together, just so he has the taste. Like, but from what I've heard from like his siblings, he's like, oh no, he hasn't gotten better. He just replaced beer with caffeine. Like now now instead of finishing a case of Bud Light, he drinks like 6 Monsters a day.
I'll say this also, I can substitute anytime that I'm like semi craving a beer, just sparkling water.
It's literally just a liquid.
Yeah.
Like
it's sparkling water. Like boom, that's it. And
sparkling water is a hack. Like I found that out.
Yeah, fuck yeah.
My last honorable mention, and this is so I just got into craft beer. This is when I was 19. Went to a HEB in San Antonio that has a lot more selection because I think the best craft beer you can find in our hometown is Shiner.
That is what Miguel credits his like love of craft beer to. Like,
so I went and I saw this label and I was like, that's one of the coolest thing. And then I read the label and it was like the devil himself gave this recipe to the people that were trying it. It's called Maudite by Unibrow.
What the fuck? I've never heard of them.
You can find that anywhere, but it's a Canadian distillery, and then like the legend behind the beer is there was some dudes just canoeing, and the devil shows up, and he's like, "Hey, do you want like the best beer in all the land?" And the guys were like, "Sure, fuck it." And the devil picks up the canoe, and it's like that's why the picture is the canoe and fucking the air and shit, and they go like time traveling or what. Interdimensional time to I guess the devil's distillery, and he was like, hey, try this, here's the recipe, and that's what Maudite comes from.
Interesting.
This is sounding an awful lot like that Fierce Whiskers promotion you were telling me, where it's like, go paddleboard.
No, I've never heard of it. Maudite.
Well, do you guys have any honorable mentions, or do we just dive into our number ones?
I got 2 honorable mentions here.
I was gonna say I got a couple of them.
I'll go real quick with mine. This one's kind of new. It's on the come up. It's not something I normally drink, but damn if I don't like to mix it with a watermelon soda if I can find it.
Damn.
It's Smirnoff Tamarindo.
This guy.
Smirnoff Tamarindo. Goddamn, I can't help it. I'm Mexican, bro.
I've never seen that before. I'm gonna be honest.
Yeah, well, so it's been around for at least about 2 years, maybe.
Yeah.
But I already made my statement. I will fight on vodka, and so that's the only reason why I haven't tried it. But
it's not like I will.
It fucking rocks.
I will totally understand if there's a vodka purist out there that's like, this is the fireball of vodkas. Totally get it, granted. And I think there's other tamarindo vodkas out there now, but I just haven't been able to find them. Smirnoff is just like the biggest name in the game, so it's easy to find. But damn, if you don't get a jarrito soda and pour some of this shit in there, it tastes exactly like those watermelon, like rebanaditas lollipops.
Oh my
Holy
God,
fuck, dude. Like, this is my childhood, only it's getting me drunk.
And isn't that sometimes just all we're asking for?
Well, Emiliano, your honorable mentions.
Well, do you have another one? I don't know. Two?
Oh, yeah, he did say 2.
The other one, and I blame this one completely on my cousin Danny.
Oh, bro. Me here.
It's Tito's.
Hey, man, that's the godfather, unfortunately, of distilleries in Texas.
Yeah.
Distiller allocation number 1.
I do like that Tito's is the only. I mean, it's not cool that it's the only one, but I do like that Tito's is making its way into rap songs and stuff like that. Like, the brand has gotten so big.
Know, wild.
So one of my cousins, Danny, he's the brother of the other cousin that I mentioned that replaced Bud Light with Monsters. Danny, he's a DJ, like, and so he goes out to a lot of like parties and stuff. Like, he'll take requests and whatnot, and every time he's out, they're like, "Hey, I'll buy you a shot if you like play my song next," and he'll be like, "Bet." Shot of Tito's. And he'll have like a case of Red Bull with him. That's his drink. Like, he always drank Tito's and Red Bull. That was his go-to. Like, every time we had to get together, like grandma's birthday, whatever the fuck, just a random family reunion, quinceañera, he'd be DJing, and I'd call him up. I'd be like, "Hey, Danny, I'm like on my way over to Dallas. I'm gonna stop at Specs. What do you want?" Handle of Tito's, bro. Handle it.
Wild. Oh, man. Tito's the only vodka you can drink. Honestly, you gotta try different vodkas. Dripping Springs is really good.
Dripping Springs is really good.
Springs is
Yeah.
really
She's from California. She's not gonna get a Dripping Springs vodka though.
Oh, well.
The same way I can't get Warbringer because it's from California. She can't get.
There are better vodkas in Texas.
Yeah. Western Suns.
Yeah.
So they make a blueberry vodka that tastes just like blueberry muffins. It's fucking amazing.
Wasn't Smirnoff, but someone in our answers It was straight. Their answer was straight vodka, but it was Ciroc. That's what it was.
I know. Okay, I mean, Ciroc's a cheat, but yeah, sure.
I mean, all vodkas are cheap. I think I think Grey Goose is the most expensive.
Oh no, I was just saying cheat. Like, it's a cheat. Like you're fucking cheating the system there, bro. It's not. Like it's vodka, but fuck out of here. May as well be brandy or some shit made out of fucking grapes.
Russian vodka hits different. I had Russian
Standard, baby. That shit's wild. Wow.
Back in our bootlegging days, we used to definitely feel because
we couldn't find any of them fancy frosted bottles.
We used to feel like we were pseudo anarchist, communist kind of shit. Like, and then it's like go to Mexico as an 18-year-old, buy bottles and bootleg them across. So when you saw that Russian standard vodka with Russian letters all over it, we were like, "Yep, that's what we're bringing."
Fucking A. The honorable mentions that I got. So don't know if y'all want to just like pound through them or like. Try them. Or
by the way, this is what Russian standard vodka looks like when you don't.
For those who don't know, top notch. But I got 2 balcones. So speaking of Shiner, about now 5 to 6-ish years ago, Balcones and Shiner Bach actually partnered up, and Balcones took Shiner Bach beer with their proprietary yeast and made whiskey out of it. And that's what's here. So this is whiskey Shiner Bach before Shiner became a distillery.
Okay, I gotta try that.
This is one of just my all-time favorite whiskeys ever. This is a 4-year age version of it. Then TX Whiskey, who is also one of the more controversial distilleries in the state of Texas. They are by square footage the largest distillery in the state of Texas. Mm-hmm. They actually bought out I don't know why it's historic, but historic neighboring golf course.
Yeah.
So it's like a 40 something acre distillery. But that is one of my favorite and was one of my introductions into barrel finishes that I really, really fell in love with. It is a port barrel finish. Also speaking about, kind of wines and wine touch and whiskeys. But they do phenomenal stuff. To answer the controversial portion, they do, and they are most known for their TX blended. But that is a GNS, meaning majority vodka fortified whiskey. Yeah. Okay. So whenever
TX whiskey has been the most advertised of the local Texas whiskeys.
Yes. So up in Fort Worth, but aside from that blended, everything from their bourbon, their cask strength bourbon, their port, cognac, and sherry finished bourbons, all of their bottled and bonds, and all of their experimental whiskeys are grain to glass Texas. So,
damn.
Yeah.
This is really good.
Now we got to go buy another bottle of this. Take it to Alfred.
Can't.
Take it to Paco, actually. Let me reward that. Can't?
No. So because yeah, I'm gonna pull this.
You're not good enough.
Closer. No, I'm
jump him. No,
always.
He hasn't had the vodka yet.
So this bottle was distillery only release, and they sold out the Saturday it got fucking released. And there was 500 bottles.
I can't blame anyone that bought it.
Yeah, consider also that the fact that at the time it was released, there was a 2-bottle limit per person for 30 days. Not a month. Every 30 days that you made a purchase, you can only buy 2 bottles. That law is changing, however. September 1st, you can now buy 4 bottles per every 30 days. But also the other kicker, this is a 63.4%
Damn.
ABV. Sold 100.
I might have poured with too much.
126.8.
How many couches Sammy got?
So yeah,
He was sleeping in his bed tonight. He already went to bed.
he doesn't got to know till tomorrow.
He's not editing the shows right now. Key is.
I ain't got to know till it's on YouTube.
He ain't gonna watch the show.
Yeah, right. He ain't gonna know. Brother ain't gonna know. But that's honorable mentions, and we can get to the port if y'all want and whatnot.
Sam isn't here, but I do know that he reps rum really hard. That's his favorite thing. He likes spiced rums a lot.
Interesting.
So when I was in college, like Captain and Coke was my go-to. Like,
so his thing, I don't know if it's a price thing, because you know how in college you still fall under certain things. His was Kraken, and he will tell stories about Kraken all day and night.
Yeah, Kraken's pretty solid. There is fucking Veracruzano rum. I'm fucking forgetting the name of it, but every single version of it is a single barrel, but it's all 10-year-old rum, and it's made in Veracruz, Mexico. But they are Mocambo, I think. But phenomenal rum, Mexican-made rum, and they're really good. The other one is Flor de Caña, and they are Nicaraguan, and that is also really top-notch stuff.
I'll have to try those out because I'm not too well versed when it comes to rums. I like tiki drinks a lot. So
oh man, I got a buddy. I won't even get you fucking connected. Spout down your throat. He's all tiki, but yeah.
I do like tiki drinks a lot, but also tiki drinks have a lot of shit that I was like, what the fuck is orgeat? I'm never gonna make this. But so because of that, I'm not too well versed in rums, but I tend to lean more towards like the aged rums and the like Jamaican rums. Like I'm not too much.
Mount Gay is my favorite rum.
Mount Gay is fucking amazing. Mount Gay is really fucking good. Appleton is also
Appleton.
top.
Yeah, that's my go-to. I've heard of one called Denizen, but I haven't been able to find it here. Denizen's supposed to be like it's got the notes of like the traditional old school like tiki drinks, like from the 50s after the war when tiki drinks were becoming the thing. They were pretty much made with like Denizen 8-year rum. But yeah, I haven't been able to find it here. So.
JJ, I'm gonna take you to the tiki bar sometime.
I mean, yeah, they might have it there.
If
but
y'all want tiki, like 100%, I got a buddy I work with. He's my gin and rum guy, bro.
I'm down.
Fucking set you up. Like
I was just gonna go take JJ to Rum and Tatsuya, or the Tiki Tatsuya.
the tiki.
that's one of his best spots. He says this is one of the best spots if you want tiki and like whatever else.
I had a lot of fun the last time I went.
I do like my
I
ties
ain't
a
never
lot.
been, but yeah.
So just shout out real quick. Wanted to say, hey guys, if you just message me on Instagram, start the process, or even message the themexcellence Instagram, all you gotta do is send $20, and that includes shipping. And you can get this T-shirt. It's a design that I made with a local tattoo artist. It's my local thing. It's a DIY project, and all it is just trying to get the emblem and everything out there. Also, it's a pretty badass shirt, honestly.
Man.
And this is JJ's. JJ gets one just for being a member of the show.
You didn't tell me that it was your fucking design, bro. That's fucking pimp.
No, I am. I have this weird thing where I'm very imaginative, but just very shitty with a pencil.
Same.
I get that.
On to our number ones. So my number one, this was just my go-to beer for the longest time. By longest time, I mean about a year and a half, because that's how long this beer existed. And it's by Fourth Tap. It's called Soundcheck.
Interesting.
Oh yeah.
And what this beer was just designed to do is it was just like, it's a crispy, like it literally kind of was like a nicer Coors Banquet, like we talked about earlier.
Yeah.
And it was just like, hey man, this beer won't get you too fucked up really fast. Like in the sense of like, when you think of, because they did have heavy stouts and I forgot what it's called, but like the beers with heavy citrus and notes and stuff like that.
IPAs?
Yeah, well, not IPAs, but there's a level above that.
Wheat
The
triples?
triples. Triples. They didn't make that.
Fucking Tripels?
Yeah.
Bro. Bro. Fucking Tripels. I'm finished and guys, fucking Tripels.
Well, their whole thing was like, they do make beers like that, but this thing was like, hey, we want a beer that you can take down the river. We want a beer that you can drink 3 or 4 of, and you're just in a loosey-goosey mood to go to the show, because that's why it's called Soundcheck.
Fuck yeah.
And I literally think that I bought the last 6-pack of this. I found it in a random gas station that collects beer down the street. And
I know which one.
and I drank 2 of them, and I left them in the fridge. And then our friend Elijah was in town from out of town, and he drank all of them.
Oh, no.
He's why the bottle of Centario over there is gone. And I don't know. That dude is 25, 24, like I said, and he would spend all his time editing his own podcast and then drinking the rest of the bottles, and as he was playing Counter-Strike or whatever the fuck kids play these days. But he drank all the sound checks, and he literally sent me a picture with the last one. He was like, damn, this is the best beer I ever had. Thanks, bro. And I'm sad that I will never find this again. I'm sad Fourth Tap no longer exists, but it was my favorite, like, I'm just chilling right now beer.
Damn. Some of those fucking, like, golden coins you'll just never find again, man. That's
pretty much, man.
Shoo. Fuck Tripels, though. Christ.
JJ, your number 1?
Cellus makes a decent triple, but yeah, you're right. Like,
They're fucking dangerous, man.
they are, because, like, they're sweet.
So, we had, I work at Treaty Oakham Distillery for those who are not familiar with it. Our head brewer, is a fucking badass. Josh is just, like, top notch. He's an old head, 40-something years old. Motherfucker's just, like, magic in the fucking brew room. He had a gin barrel aged Tripel that was, like, amazing flavor. Nice, sweet, citrus, but also, like, fruity and floral. We think floral probably picked up from that gin barrel. Motherfucker didn't tell us this shit.
How strong they are?
Well, no, this shit, he actually, like, semi-brewed it wrong.
Oh.
It came out at 14 fucking percent.
That's wine, bro.
Well, that's the thing is something that we did not also include is that barley wine is a thing that a lot of people love.
Yeah. And this motherfucker.
Oh, I didn't include mead. But yeah.
Yeah, so he, like, this shit came out at 14 something percent. And so a buddy and I was giving him rides to and from work. He worked with me, still does, but didn't have a car at the time. And so we were like, after work and just like, 2, 3, whatever. And like, we're just creeping close to his neighborhood and we're just like hit like a fucking brick wall. Like, bro, what the fuck did we drink? And then we're just like, all right, you know what? We're getting home like just in time. Boom, cool, cut it. That's it. We're going to sleep. Next day, fucking same thing. And we're like, what is going on? The Friday we go back into work, we're like, Josh, what the fuck do you have on that tap? And he's like, oh, well, that's the gin barrel aged April. We're like, what's the ABV on that motherfucker? And he's like, oh, it's like 14.6%. And it's like, dog, you could have given a fucking heads up, man. Oh, man, yeah, no, Tripels is wild.
Yeah.
Tripels is wild.
They are good. I do like them. Cellus makes a really good one that I...
Is it like lavender or something? Or it's purple something. I don't know what it is.
Yeah. You could get it at HEB. Like, if you live in Texas, you could probably find it. But, yeah, it's typically the one that I go to. I'm rarely in the mood for tripels or triples. But, like, every once in a while, I'm like, God damn it, these fucking customers. I need something strong. I need your biggest, cheapest, strongest
does
drink.
have the best food trucks too.
They do.
I ain't never been out to Cellus, but
that Circle Taco truck's really
the new one, the BDF place. Yeah, I was there like on Monday or Sunday, and it was
so where the fuck is Cellus?
Cellus is like right there.
Okay,
yeah, Cellus is up the road a little bit. Yeah.
Have y'all done the BDF pizza?
They sell it at Circle, like JJ was saying.
I was gonna say because there's a spot South Austin.
Palo Taco.
I don't know the spot, but it's close to Moon Tower.
Yeah.
Yeah, and they do fucking pizza and fuck.
I know it's trendy, but I've not had bad beer yet.
No, but yeah. The moment I hear a not Mexican name, that's like, bro, that's it.
All right, I haven't done that yet, but all the places I've like literally the dude that I bought birria from at Circle, like that dude doesn't speak English, and I was like, okay.
I mean, but he's like, is he at least from a valley or something? You know?
I mean, he doesn't speak English. I don't know where he's from, but I mean. ¿Te gustó? ¿Sí?
There you go. Yeah. Cool.
All right, so my number one.
Man.
Yeah.
Also something I won't be able to get.
Oh, no.
At least not here.
Yeah.
And I didn't bring an example because I can't
get it here. Yeah.
And it is absinthe from New Orleans.
Wow. Holy shit. Wait a second. I got a buddy in New Orleans.
Oh, really?
Like, deadass, yeah, for real.
Well, hang on.
Yeah, after... Yeah.
There's more to the story.
So I just Googled absinthe, and this is one of my favorite images that showed up.
All right, yeah, I want that bottle. But no, the reason absinthe is my number one is because when we went to New Orleans, you, me, Jordan, and I forget who else went.
Jessica and Pam went with us.
Pam was the one I was blanking on. We stopped at a little like hole in the wall bar that also did like a burlesque show, and they served absinthe, and that was like their marquee attraction. Like, yeah, burlesque absinthe. And me and Jordan were like, how do we get both? And they were like, good news. You can only get one if you get the other.
So, by the way, I use Atlas Obscura everywhere that I travel, kind of thing. Atlas Obscura is amazing for New Orleans. I have all these suggestions on if you go to New Orleans, hey, here's a laundry list. Like, we went to a bar where the Rolling Stones hang out. We went to like the famous Voodoo Museum. There were the what's the big parade they have there? Fat Tuesday kind of museum and stuff like. There was a lot. Museum of the Death was on that list, and this place was on that list. And it was just kind of like, oh yeah, you'll love the drinks. And I didn't think anything of it, but it was just like we paid $20 for the shot of absinthe. And then it's $20 extra for the show. Well, I was there with my girlfriend at the time and Pam, and she was like, well, I don't want to pay for the show. Continue, JJ. Who paid for both?
He's your fucking homie.
So me and Jordan went to the show. And it was just us two. Like, it was just like this hot lady, and I was like, oh man, hot lady. And she's like, oh, are you guys paying for the show? Yeah. Okay, well, it's me. Fantastic. So both of us like go into like this small room in the back, and like she does her thing. She takes her top off, she takes her bra off, and she like throws it, and like, you know, Jordan catches one, I catch the other, blah blah blah. And then she's like, all right, so with the show you get a shot of absinthe, and we serve it, you know, the traditional way here. So she gets like 2 glasses, right? And she...
Oh, I thought it was going to be like a body shot or something.
She's like, she gets these 2 glasses, and she puts like the little like sugar cube in the spoon or whatever, and she's like, all right, left or right? Left. And so then, yeah, she gets the bottle of absinthe, she pours it on her left titty. And then that goes into the drink, and she's like, there you go. And that was Jordan's shot. And I was like, well, I want right.
Fuck yeah, bro.
So, yeah, we took our little, like, cocktail of absinthe out to the bar, and we were like, damn, that was a good show.
Fuck yeah.
Side note, I don't mean them. This was supposed to be a quick show. We just love alcohol. I'm sorry, guys. Especially for you. I know you've checked your watch a couple times. But I do want to tell a quick story about absinthe, because we found a bottle of absinthe in Mexico. And...
Oh, hey.
Aye.
Ollie oxen free. Thank you very much.
So the bottle of absinthe that we found in Mexico, it led to these weird stories, and so all the stories about absinthe are not true. It's not made with hallucinogens or wormwood.
No, for sure.
Yeah. Oh, you would know that as a distiller, but so there's still something weird that happens. That all my friends that drink absinthe and got fucked up on absinthe were the happiest drunks that they've ever been, and like literally, our friend Renee got so drunk that he threw up without gagging. Like, just straight, like...
Whoa, fucking like the waterfall at fucking Centauri or something.
Yeah, no, just like, this is the happiest I've ever been.
That's almost scarier. I'd rather have a fucking trip or something, man.
With me, it was different because when we paid for the show, I was already like, man, I'm pretty fucking drunk. Like,
fun note about that: we were all me, Jordan, JJ, Pam. We're all blackout. Like, and then not the DD. They're just in charge of getting the Uber back to the Airbnb. They don't need to be straight. They just need to be straight enough.
Yeah.
That's the one that everyone thought was fucked up. Because
we had to leave that dungeon bar early.
Yeah. Have you been to New Orleans?
Once, unfortunately, not partying though.
No, it's all right. As long as you walk down the sidewalk, you would know.
Yeah.
So she's tripping on the sidewalk, kind of thing, but not because she's drunk, just because like it's hard to walk on that sidewalk.
It's a Piedras Negras sidewalk.
It's like a fucking Mexican sidewalk, man. Like you just go down, and it's like you're either like too far up.
Oh, that's probably what it was. Like you and me are used to it.
Oh man, that's probably what it is.
So she trips over the sidewalk a little bit, and the bouncer's like, she's got to go.
Fuck, man.
And we are at we are having all the fun that we can have. We're like taking pictures in the dungeon bar in the electric chair and shit like that. And then they're like, "You guys had to leave. She was barely allowed in the bar, and now she has a drink in her hand." And I was like, "But she's the most sober."
Fuck, man.
No, yeah, like when we got to the absinthe bar, I was like pretty drunk, like probably like the drunkest I've been up to that point. And Jordan was like, "I'm not gonna be able to finish my glass of absinthe," and I was like, "Give it here, bro." So I drank it, and when I drank it, I went beyond. I always joke with my buddies that I describe my drunkenness on Super Saiyan levels, because it's like Super Saiyan 1, like, yeah, I'm buzzed, but I'm having a good time, like I'm strong, I'm ready. Yeah. Super Saiyan 2, like I have to go a little bit farther, but like I still got my wits about me. Super Saiyan 3, like, no, that's too much power. I can't hold on to it for that long. I was Super Saiyan 3 already. Jordan hands me like his goblet, and I'm like, I got it, bro. Like, don't worry about it. I drink that, and I went beyond. Like, I was no longer blackout. I was no longer Super Saiyan 3. I was Super Saiyan God. I was like,
fuck yeah, man. No, I get you. I do the 1 through 10. 1 and 2 is like buzzed. 3, 4, maybe 5 is like tipsy. Then, like, once either 5 or 6, you're, like, drunk.
Yeah.
7, 8, you're getting into, like, your turn, like, you're on the verge. 9 is, like, you have a choice. And, like, but the choice is, like, very slim. And
that's funny, because I would put my choice, like, at 7. But, yeah.
But, like, your choice is, like, very fleeting and in the moment. And, it's like between 8, 9, and 10 are, like, moments, and you have to choose, but the 9 is fleeting, and then you just be blackout.
I've learned so much about drinking and how much I can handle that night. It's about what I did before I even put a drink to my lips.
Yeah.
Did you eat? Did you sleep well?
Oh yeah, facts. Yeah. No, man. I mean, I like drinking always full stomach. If not, just like control yourself. But
TJ's birthday party.
I bought
Wendy's double.
Have to buy a burger right before.
Yeah. Wendy's double at least, minimum.
Nah, man. For me, it's like fucking Whataburger, just like closing things up, man.
Well, Emiliano, as a special guest of honor, what's your number uno?
My number one is probably, and arguably,
I almost poured that myself.
it is arguably
I almost bought that.
best Texas bourbon I have fucking ever had. So this also comes from the first distiller in the state of Texas to make whiskey. Dan Garrison himself and the Garrison Brothers Distillery. This is the ever so highly touted Lady Bird that has just released maybe about a month ago now, and still fucking hard to find in liquor stores.
Well, I should clarify. I almost bought Garrison Brothers, not that one.
Did it have a red label?
Huh?
Did it have a red label?
Garrison Brothers does not have a red label.
Oh, okay, I thought I saw one with a red label.
No, Garrison Brothers have a gold, orange, purple, and blue label, and then their standard black, wax, and then a silver for their single barrels. This is 114 proof.
Woo!
Woo!
But this is essentially, so if you're not familiar, they also do have a yellow wax. The yellow wax is their honey finished whiskey that it's an interesting process, but essentially they take former Garrison bourbon barrels, chop them all up into like short little pieces, drop them all into a vat of honey, pull those pieces of wood out, drop those pieces into a full barrel of Garrison Brothers, let that age out for about a year. But what they did with this is they then took that whiskey that had honey finished staves in them, put it into a cognac barrel for another year.
That's also another thing that it's just like, I don't drink cognac at all.
Me neither. Fuck that.
But when you tell me it's in a cognac barrel.
Yes.
I'm like,
Yeah. So that is the Lady Bird. And it's probably the best Texas bourbon I've ever had.
Smells good. Just
It
off the
does.
smell.
yeah.
That's too smooth.
114 proof.
That's why I'm like, that's
Yeah,
Yeah.
You know how,
It's dangerous.
like it's not a
I'm gonna
problem.
catch a case.
It's not a problem that I have with candy liquors. By candy liquors, I mean like 99 Bananas and Fireball and shit like that, where it's just kind of like, oh, like the people that drink it, like literally in high school, it's like, oh, the Smirnoff Apple tastes so smooth. Like I don't feel like I'm getting drunk at all. Never been my problem.
Yeah.
This has been my problem. Oh, this tastes so smooth and good. Like I could drink this all night.
Yeah.
That's my problem with stouts. It's like, oh man, this is really good. It tastes like candy, like, but not like super sweet candy.
I was gonna
Not
say,
like
it's
Jolly Ranchers. It's like
like chocolate milk with the oomph. Sometimes,
yeah.
You know.
And
That
then
is a good way to describe stouts.
Then I check it. It's like 10%.
Yeah.
Fuck.
Yeah, I'm gonna be honest. Like for a beer drinker, I never learned what ABUs like really matter.
ABUs or ABVs?
ABVs, sorry.
ABVs. ABVs are so.
I might be ABUs. I'm not gonna lie.
Okay, so ABV, the percentage to tell the proof on any kind of alcoholic
Doubled it.
spirit or whatever, yes, you double it. So if wine, if it's 14 proof or ABV,
No, it's not that.
okay, then never mind. I don't know what the fuck you're talking about. Again, not a beer guy.
Are you just talking about finding like what's your medium?
No, there's like a union kind of thing that it like.
The gravity? Or
No, I don't remember what.
ABU.
Beer. I'm gonna just Google beer alcohol units.
ABU. Huh. Watch it just be ABV. Like one of those weird.
He might be referring to gravity because, like, from making beer, I know that like that
Yeah,
that gravity is like fucking weird.
Yeah.
It's like, I don't know what kind of math you're doing to gauge that it's going to be 9%, but I believe you, bro.
So beer chem is what it's initially called, at least for the whiskey level. But yeah, you're essentially seeing the amount of sugars that are
It is ABV. I'm wrong.
Okay. ABV. Yeah, no, ABV. So ABV is just ×2. That's the proof.
Yeah.
But that's how it works even like with stouts or like, oh yeah, this is...
Yeah, with everything.
Anything that has alcohol, ABV is the percentage.
It's by volume. So like, if this
alcohol
is...
by volume.
Yeah. So if this is like 30%, that means that a third of this is pure 100% alcohol. If I boil the rest of this,
Yeah.
All right, guys, thank you for coming out with us tonight. I don't want to hold anyone up. It's this podcast went so much longer than I thought it would, but also
we have a lot of drunk stories.
Also, we were having a lot of fun.
It's only 11, but fair.
This is technically early for us.
I know this is early for us, but I was literally like, we were halfway through 3, and I was like, oh, we're gonna be out of here, but in an hour and a half.
And then we started telling drunk stories about Alfred.
Oh, and this once, I'm just kidding.
I will be here all night if that's what it takes. But it's just a matter of like, I don't want to keep you all here. So thank you all for coming out. Please follow our Instagram if you want to know where the schedule is for next week. Please follow Emiliano El Whiskilero on Instagram if you want to have more information.
You want to buy this t-shirt?
Yeah, it's a badass fucking shirt, man. Again, I had no idea that this was your like kind of design and thought process.
If you want to buy this t-shirt, you know who to message.
That gang.
But yeah, thank you all for coming out. Thank you all for sticking with it. Join us next week and have a good weekend, y'all. Try any of the alcohols we've mentioned here tonight if you can find them.
If you can find them, if you're in Texas, Total Wine is where you can find at least most of the distilleries.
That's where you can find me.
Unfortunately, I have easier access to most of these spirits.
Or fly down to Austin and do a brewery tour.
Yeah, come
or
through.
go to Chicago and try the Ninjas versus Unicorn.
Shout out to the Texas Whiskey Trail because y'all are top notch in what helps us make Texas whiskey fucking great and badass.
Yeah, and follow Texas Whiskey Society.
ATX Whiskey Society, El Whiskilero. I'm trying to figure that whole shit out. I don't know how I can't get it on Instagram.
I'm just surprised you're not there when they're talking most of the time.
We do split streams and live streams, and at least every Tuesday is what we try to do.
I've seen you guys.
But El Whiskilero if you want to see my ugly mug, and then some of the shit behind Texas Whiskey. And ATX Whiskey Society will show out. But
thank you all for bearing with us. Thank you all for enjoying the show. And thank you all for all the subs and everything. We can't do this. We literally live for you. We love you guys.
Choo-hoo!